your positions. And we're live. Hey, look at that. Welcome in to everybody who's tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for being here today. For everyone who continues to join on TikTok, once again, thank you for being here today. And Alyssa, thank you for the galaxy over on TikTok. Now, if you've never been here before, let me quickly tell you what we do. We debate Trump supporters. We try to get them from the wrong side of history to the anti-Trump side of history. I think that Donald Trump is by far the worst president of your life. I mean, he has a new Watergate, almost every day at this point. If any other president besides Trump was doing what Trump is doing right now, they'd have members of their cabinet fleeing. There'd be a 24/7 live broadcast of the front of the White House, their personal home, and they'd be being hammered with questions and comments by news reporters and journalists all over this country. I mean, just imagine if Obama, was named in the Epstein files that he said was a Republican hoax and fought against the release of, then defied the law in releasing them all when legally obligated to. And then we figured out that inside of those files, there had been a woman that reported that she was raped by him in 1984 after he paid to do it, on top of another woman that said the same thing, but then said that she was impregnated by it, and then had, Mr. O, watch the drowning of that newborn once it was given birth to in Lake Michigan. He was Obama. Obama was, targeted and attacked by the media for like a month straight for wearing a tan suit. So just imagine if anything that was going on with Trump right now had happened to Obama, it would be a total mess. But because it's Trump, right, no one cares. Because it's just Trump being Trump. It's just another day of the insanity. And I think that we should care more. And that's why I come on this live stream every day, outside of yesterday, of course, because that was Christmas. I hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday, if you celebrate. But that's why I come on live every single day to try to convince more of those Americans who still somehow support him as president to drop their support and channel it against him, because I want to genuinely progress this country in a positive direction. And I believe the very first step in achieving that end goal is just getting all of, the minds of the American voters on the same page that somebody like Trump should never be serving in the most powerful position available to any human on earth. Hayden, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate that, man. And every single day before we hop into the debates, we always like to go over the breaking news. The breaking news of today is the fact that Donald Trump had some pretty insane and disgusting things to say to 8, 9, and 10-year-old little girls last night. It might have even been a night 2 days ago, either Christmas or Christmas Eve, when taking phone calls from American children across our 50 states. So one of the things that he had to say was to Jasper in Tulsa. And Jasper was a 10-year-old girl. He said, Santa's a very good person, but we want to make sure that he's not infiltrated, that we're not infiltrating into our country a bad Santa. So he was being really weird about Santa, saying we want to make sure that he's not bad, that he's infiltrated into our country, using very similar rhetoric that he'll throw against immigrants. And then he went on to say, so you live in Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. Oklahoma was very good to me in the election, so I love them. Don't ever leave Oklahoma. Which was just a little odd. Which was just, I gotta say, a little odd. Taking a night that was supposed to be focused on the children, the celebration of Christmas, to talk about himself and the outcome of the election, which was very weird. Very, very weird. So we're also getting other comments in here. Like, he was talking to an 8-year-old girl in North Carolina. And while talking to this 8-year-old girl, he said, "You sound so beautiful and cute. You sound so smart." In response to Savannah, an 8-year-old from North Carolina, who asked him, "Will Santa ever get mad at me if we don't leave out any cookies?" And then Trump responds by saying, he won't get mad, but I think he'll be very disappointed because Santa is fat, pretty much. That's pretty much what he said, which was, once again, a little odd. And then he kind of went on, and he droned on and on about how fat he thinks Santa is for quite some time, saying he tends to be on the cherubic side. Cherubic means a little on the heavy side. That way you could hear what's going on, I think, a little bitter. which actually makes no sense whatsoever in reference to the last sentence. So I'm actually trying to track the transcript of what Donald Trump said, and I'm actually struggling to. Wow. Okay. Oh, and then here's another thing, and honestly, I bet we could all expect this one. He was talking to a young child named Amelia who was worried about getting coal in her stocking because, no young child wants to be on Santa's naughty list. They don't want to be on his nice list because they don't want to get coal. And when Amelia had asked Donald Trump about, how she was worried that she may get coal in her stocking, Trump responded by saying, "You mean clean, beautiful coal?" And then he went on about how much he loves coal and how clean he thinks it is and how beautiful he thinks it is. Because, remember, he's been campaigning on this for years, how human-caused climate change isn't real, it doesn't exist. Oh, but then renewable energy resources are terrible, windmills cause cancer, and coal is clean. So he made sure to tell the children that coal's clean, it's beautiful, it's great, because that's been one of his talking points on the campaign trail leading up to the last election for quite a while. And just one last comment I'd like to add in here was when he was speaking to a 5-year-old in Pennsylvania, 5 years old. All right. He learned that the 5-year-old was from Pennsylvania. And instead of talking to that 5-year-old about Santa, about Christmas, about, the holiday cheer, Donald Trump rather said, Pennsylvania is great. We won Pennsylvania 3 times, actually, but we won Pennsylvania. We won it in a landslide, so I love Pennsylvania. God, so, I mean, he's now doing the same thing that he's been doing to us for a long time, repeating the big lie about 2020, talking about the election and this massive landslide. But now he's doing it to 5-year-old children that are calling in expecting a conversation about Santa, Christmas, and the holiday cheer, which is, super predictable for Trump. But come on. What are you doing, dude? These are children. Talk about Santa, stick on topic. Try not to call them cute and beautiful. Try not to hit on the 8-year-olds, Mr. Trump. Okay. Try not to hit on the 8-year-olds. Okay. Try not to talk about the election to the 5-year-olds and the 10-year-olds. Just talk about the holiday. So, oh God, I mean, and I can't believe it. But anyways, I thought we'd take some time before hopping into the debates to go over those calls because I found them quite outrageous. Now, at this point in time, we have 2,000 people hanging out with us on YouTube. Thanks for being here. If you happen to be watching this stream after the fact, watching the VOD, drop a comment. I always love to hear from the people that watch the VODs because there's a whole different group of people that don't really show up to the lives because they're busy, they're working, they're doing something, but they will show up after the fact and watch the VODs of the live streams on YouTube. So drop a comment if that happens to be you. However, now at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and hop into the debates. I hope that everyone had a great Christmas yesterday. I know that I sure did. And hop inside of the guest requests over on that TikTok live stream. If you are an American, an adult, that means that you're at least 18 years old and you're a Trump supporter. We're also going to go ahead and throw the rules up. Once again, wrong text box. I've done that last 4 days in a row. We're going to go ahead and throw the rules up on the TikTok stream as well. So there's no excuse that anybody has whatsoever. To being in the guest requests, even though we will always get those trolls. So if you're in the guest request and I bring you up here and you're not an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president that's here to debate, I'm going to ban you. I'm going to ban you very, very quickly. I mean, there's going to be 0 exceptions to this rule. So if you think that you'll be able to get an exception, you're not going to be able to get one, okay? As long as we have the rules on the screen that everyone can read, there will be no exceptions to any rule breakers whatsoever. You come up here and you're not here for a debate and you're breaking our rules, you're going to be banned very quickly. Braden, are you a Trump supporter or are you banned?
Balls.
And he's banned. All right, that's fine. I don't mind banning people. That's fine. Moving on to our next guest, Matthew, guys. Make sure that we're following the rules. If you're in the queue, make sure that you're taking a look at the left-hand side of your phone screen. You just have to be 18 plus, American and MAGA. All rule breakers will be banned. I have no problem with banning people. It's really easy. It's really quick. It's not too much of a not too much of a task. So it's fine by me. Hello, James. Do you support Trump or are you banned?
I support Trump. I'm Texas and I'm...
You're very much so underage, so you're banned. Once again, not too big of a deal. So we just got to get through all the fetuses, all the children, so on and so forth.
What?
Hey, Emily, do you support Trump or are you banned? Emily, you have you have 5 seconds to respond.
You've changed my mind so much on Trump. I just wanted to say that and how much I love you because I used to be a big fan of Trump.
I'm really happy to hear that, Emily. I'm gonna give you one free get out of jail free card. I'm not gonna ban you because you sound pretty young there. So I mean, I'm not gonna ban you, and it sounds like you're on a good path as well. We've been able to change your mind, so that's awesome, Emily. But for the future, for all the Emilys out there, I love you guys. I think it's awesome that you've been able to change your mind. I think that's really cool. But make sure that we're following the rules that are on the left hand side of the phone screen. Carson,
Wait, what?
Do you support Trump or are you banned?
Wait, he said what?
I said, do you support Trump or are you banned?
Oh, I support Trump.
Okay, how old are you, man?
20.
20. All right. What year are you born in, man? Let's just confirm that age real quick.
2005.
2005 sounds good. Carson, dude, welcome in. You're the very first Trump supporter of the day. I appreciate you for being here, man. Listen.
Hey, no problem, man.
Listen, I don't get it. I don't understand how anyone can still support Trump as president. If I had to make a prediction here, I would assume that maybe you're not too politically involved and you don't know all the bad things he's done and you just have a loose idea that's been imprinted onto you by your family that maybe is good for the economy and he holds to your conservative Christian values. But the floor and the mic is yours. Tell us why you or how the hell you still support this tyrant, this gross, disgusting tyrant as president.
Well, this tyrant that you're saying is deporting all the fucking Mexicans and beaners that are crossing the border illegally. And
okay. So I'm gonna cut you off there. I'm gonna cut you off there incredibly quickly. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna kick you. I mean, the first thing that you do when you come up into the live is you start throwing derogatory terms towards Mexican people. So, hey, just to let you know, if it wasn't for Mexican people, you wouldn't have this country. You wouldn't. You wouldn't have this country. So, like, not only am I saying this literally in the sense that around 1/4 to 1/5 of what we call the United States of America used to be a part of Mexico, but I'm also saying that in a metaphorical sense. That Mexican Americans are not only some of the kindest, but also some of the hardest working people in this country. And by the way, they bring in some of the best culture and the best food, and some of the best social and moral values. So, I mean, to turn around and be so derogatory to Mexican Americans, it truly makes me sick. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Oh, and by the way, just saying, couldn't find a Mexican in the Epstein files. Just saying. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 25.
And what time is it?
2053.
2053. All right. Well, you're obviously not in America. Let's go to throw the rules back up on screen, folks. Make sure if you're joining in that you're following our rules. If you break our rules, you're going to be banned. Now that if you break the rules, you're going to be banned only applies when the rules are up on the screen because that means I know you could read them. So if you break them, even though they're right in front of your face, you're gone. No exceptions. Moving on to the next guest. Rules are simple. Be 18 plus and be American and be MAGA. We got Energy and Glow loading up in here. What's up? Do you support Trump or are you banned?
Hi, Dean. Hi, I support Trump.
Age, please.
And I have a quick question for you. Can I ask or?
Hey, can I
you
ask?
need
I just need to
to,
verify how old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. What year were you born in?
I was born in Armenia.
Armenia. Well, I said what year were you born in?
2006.
Okay. Yeah. And are you in America?
Right now, no. Is it a problem?
Are you an American citizen?
You can ban me, but I have a real quick question for you.
I'm sorry. We are. I have to be a man of my word. I said that any rule breaker will be banned by the rules are up. So
I'm back.
We have to hold those very, very clearly. You said I'm back. Have I talked to you before? I don't know you, little bro.
No, you kicked me before I was able to talk. Because, I wasn't on the app.
Oh, okay. How old are you?
I was the first guy you added. 20.
20. Are you the one that used derogatory? No, that was Carson. That was someone else. Okay. And are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna quickly repeat the same thing.
I
said
support
to-
I support a lot of things that he does, but a lot of things I don't. But, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever
Yeah,
helps
you
me.
consider yourself to be a Trump supporter. I just don't understand how anyone is still a Trump supporter. I mean, I just think that he's crossed nearly every red line in the book. So, Mike's yours. Take it away. Tell us all why you still support this this ruthless, disgusting POS as the leader of the United States of America. Mike and Fleur are yours.
Okay, so the first reason that I support him is really because his economic record pre-COVID.
His economic record pre-COVID. Well, I mean, even that's not too impressive. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, I'll give you that. Jay, thank you for the motorcycle. I think he's significantly more destructive in his second term. You know, like at least in his first term, he didn't take healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans. But it also wasn't great. I'd give it a good C minus. The biggest issue with his economic record pre-COVID was the fact that he spent $1.9 trillion on a tax relief policy where 85% of the cuts in the bill went to the top 1%. And according to two Harvard economists, one on the right and one on the left, only led to 0.4% year-by-year GDP growth. So very mid, very mid. And when we also,
Do you know anybody who did it better?
Do I know anyone who did it better? Sure, Biden.
Yeah, just to enlighten me because I don't really know.
But yeah, thank you for the motorcycle. Sure, Biden and Harris.
Okay, Biden, he did that. I didn't even know about that.
He had better economic policy than the TCJA.
All right.
And by the way, I mean, when we look at Trump in his second term with a big, beautiful bill, I mean, now that's just terrible. Okay, I mean that took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans. Food stamps.
Wait, what'd you
away
say?
from
You're
3
lagging.
million
I couldn't hear you.
low-income
What'd you say?
Americans. I said that Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill that he passed on July 4th is terrible. Not only is it the most expensive policy that the American Congress has ever passed, adding close to $5 trillion to our debt over the course of the next 10 years, it also destroys low-income Americans by taking their healthcare and food stamps away. And it reduces the purchasing power of 51% of this country, according to the CBPP. So, I mean, if you're going to come up here and defend him because of his economic policy, consider these facts and others, such as the fact that since the beginning of his term, we've only seen a downward curve in business investment. He's disincentivizing it by introducing instability in the market. His mass deportation is destructive to our economy. And so far this year, we've had 1.3 million layoffs, which is the most, excluding 2020 because of the pandemic, since the early 2000s.
Okay. So calling it a big, beautiful bill doesn't change the fact that it adds trillions to debt while cutting healthcare and food assistance for low-income Americans.
Go ahead and read that Google AI overview.
No,
back
it's
to me,
not
but
Google. I'm
slower
on my
this
camera
time.
right now. I'm literally taking a shit right now. Literally. That's not
That's
Google.
really disgusting. So go ahead and read your Chat GPT overview
All right,
again.
all right. I don't need
because
that. I don't need
you
that.
understand.
All right,
and
hold
you-
on. Let's talk about
that
one
just
thing
that
for 1
just
second.
corroborated every single thing
No,
I
no,
just
no, no.
said.
Hold on. Okay, no, screw that
Slow
shit.
down. Slow down, Matthew. You just corroborated every single thing I said. The AI overview that you read, it wasn't a counter argument against anything I said. ChatGPT corroborated what I said. You said, "Oh, Dean, you pointing out that the big beautiful bill cost a lot of money and took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans doesn't change the fact that it cost a lot of money and took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans." So, thank you so much for telling us all that Dean's right.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, wait. I did this for a reason, though. Trust me, it was for a good reason. Okay. So, okay, I want you to corroborate this one thing real quick. Okay.
Dude, what the fuck?
So,
happened to
when
anxiety
you was
then?
talking, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So when you was talking about Christianity and stuff, you said that lying is the same thing as murder and shit like that. Why'd you say that?
So that's not what I said. I said that is what is true of the interpretation of scripture of I don't know, majority of Christians that don't hold to sects of Christianity in which give normative authority to the church fathers, like
Wait, so the Bible says that
or
lying is the same
orthodoxy.
thing as murder?
Well, the Bible doesn't give us any clear framework to dictate the wrongness of sins in the gospel. It just kind of says that they're wrong. I mean, we also read where Paul writes about, ultimately all sins fall short of the glory of God. And because of these facts and others, a very common interpretation of, Protestants is that all sins are identical in the eyes of God, outside of blasphemy.
All sins are identical to the eyes of God.
Yeah, that's a very.
Well, a sin. Here's what that means. That's just like common
That's
sense.
a very
sin is a
common
sin.
interpretation of the scripture.
A sin is a sin. That doesn't mean it's the same thing. And I think what that's supposed to mean is by the way that you view it. I think what that's supposed to mean is that a sin is a sin, not that they're the same thing. That makes
Automatically
sense.
disconnecting this guess. Automatically disconnecting this guess. Oh, that one was concerning. So, ooh, that one was really concerning. For particular reasons, I'm not even going to share with you guys the specific reason why I disconnected him. I feel like that's the safest move here.
Give me a second.
Yeah, hi, how old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
You're in your 30s. Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay. Why do you support the worst president of your life?
Because he at least talks to people from other countries, unlike you. For some reason, you're anti. You don't want to talk to anyone who's not American, but you want them to go across the border. So they're allowed to cross the border, use services, but you literally won't even talk to them on your live. You're a hypocrite, bro.
So the reason why I don't talk to people that aren't American on this live stream is because
you're a fucking hypocrite.
Well, I mean,
and a
if you don't want to let me talk, we'll certainly never learn why I don't like to talk to people that aren't American on this live stream. A very common tactic used by low IQ Trump supporters such as yourself is to try to extrapolate a false conclusion from a set of facts, and then when corrected on your own ignorance, you just steamroll, don't let the interlocutor speak. But anyways, to clarify to you,
You're
Alex.
You're steamrolling now, bro.
How's that a
low
steamroll?
IQ. Don't be so soft, bro.
How is that a steamroll?
If anybody did what you're doing right now, literally crying, you'd call them a softie. Your entire chat.
Asking you a question makes me soft. How does asking you a question make me soft?
No, you were whining about it. You're whining about it.
What was I whining about? I just corrected you. You were wrong.
You're like,
man.
oh my god, you're so low IQ. That's why you're trying to steamroll me, and this is why I'm gonna take forever to get to my point.
So I wasn't whining.
I'm thinking so hard about something to say instead of just getting to it.
I didn't know that pointing out the fact the sky is blue is whining. I mean, I just went over the facts. I honestly think that you're being quite sensitive right now, Alex. If you can't handle those facts, it's okay, but don't project that cope on me. I'm not coping or whining by pointing out the fact that, there's a low IQ take. It's just what the fact is. No, but anyways, to get back to the meat on the bone here. So the reason why I don't talk to non-Americans on the live stream is because I want to sway the opinion of the American electorate, and the American electorate would only include American citizens. But I actually would talk to an undocumented immigrant on the stream if, that wouldn't pose a risk to their safety now that we have a commander-in-chief who's okay with throwing the Constitution out the window, throwing their constitutional rights out the window, and illegally deporting them with no due process to a center for terrorists in El Salvador where they're tortured and beaten. Who's a whiner now? Alex left, by the way. Yeah, hey, man, at least you lasted longer with me than you do your ex-girlfriend before she left you. Well, what did that clock in at? 45 seconds? Good going, buddy. Good going, buddy. Lasted the longest you ever have. We're going to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the live, guys. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that's pro-Trump. All right, guys, we're already off to a crazy start. We got a bunch of MAGA whiners joining so far today. Go ahead and let me know down below in that comment section if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. Y'all already know the rules. Let's put them back on screen. To join, you got to be 18 plus American and MAGA. While the rules are on the screen, anybody who breaks them will be permanently banned regardless of what your explanation is. So make sure to, first and foremost, check to make sure you're not accidentally in the queue. And second of all, check to make sure if you are in that queue that you follow all three of the rules. Not only do you have to be a Trump supporter, you have to be American and you have to be an adult. Hello, Presley. Do you support Trump? Presley sure doesn't. Moving on to the next guest right now. We got them loading up and connecting to the live stream. Now, this person I know is a Trump supporter. I know that this person is a Trump supporter. We talked to them briefly the day before last, but the conversation wasn't too long. We got Tony loaded in. While we got Tony loading in, let's also go and get that next guest, Angel, loaded up into the live stream. We're going to go to put the rules back up on screen, take a good look at them. We got a bunch of Trump supporters loading in. It doesn't really look like too many of them are connecting. Rotten, what's up? Do you support Trump? Nope, Rotten automatically left. Mods, go ahead and retroactively ban Rotten. Zay, are you a Trump supporter or are you banned?
I'm
You're going on. You're leaving the app, Zay. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to come back to the app, or you're banned. So, whew. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And
Hey, how's it going?
It's bad. Murray, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Are you American?
Yes, I am.
What time is it?
It is 4:04
What state?
in Maryland on the East Coast.
Okay, and go to name one state that borders Maryland.
Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Delaware.
You said Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Delaware?
I don't know if Ohio like directly borders, but it's really close. Like there might be like a small little sliver that borders.
No, so Ohio definitely doesn't border Maryland.
Well, it's really close there. It's in that like tri-state area. Like it's very, very close. Like
Chad,
you could drive like an hour and be.
So did you vote in the last
Ohio.
election?
Huh? Yes, I did.
Okay, what month?
I voted for Jill Stein, but if I could go back, I would vote for Donald Trump.
What month was the election in?
Huh?
What month was the
November.
election
November.
in? Yeah, I'll trust you. I'll trust you for now.
Listen, I know I have an accent. I was born in Israel, but to be honest with you, Dean, I want to propose to my girlfriend. She's watching the live. Long distance girlfriend of 6 years. She's watching the live right now.
Yeah, in your bio it says IDF soldier.
It's not true. I want to propose to my girlfriend. She's watching
what
the
are your
live.
thoughts
Long
on
distance
Israel?
girlfriend.
What are your thoughts on Israel?
I don't agree with them. I want them. I mean, they just like I believe Jews deserve a place, but like an ethno state, I don't agree with.
And you said that you wanted to propose to your girlfriend?
Yeah, she's I tried to get in
Okay.
to Parker's live yesterday. Didn't really work out.
My friend,
Long distance
my
girlfriend
friend,
of 5
I'm
years.
going to do something positive for you here. I understand.
Wait, hold on. She recognized my voice. Fuck, she just texted me saying no. Damn it, I'm such a fat fucking chud. Damn it. Have a good one, Dean.
Okay, I think he's messing around. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only up inside of the queue. If you happen to be an American adult that's following the rules here. I was about to do something kind for him. I was gonna say like, no, I'm gonna kick you off. So you got to meet up with her. In
You
person
fucking nigger,
to
you
propose
nigger,
to her.
you're a nigger.
Get me out of here. Like I was gonna say, like I was gonna try to do something. Like if he was being serious, try to do something nice for him. Like no, do not propose over TikTok live. No, like do something in person with her. If you want to ask her to marry you, do not propose over the internet. But I mean, he was a troll, so. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be following the rules, y'all. While the rules are up on screen, everyone who breaks them is going to be banned. So moving on to the next guest right now. We got Trackside Media connecting into the live stream. We've been live so far for 30 minutes. And in the last 30 minutes, if you're curious, haven't been able to find a single Trump supporter that's last longer than 30 seconds on the live. Banned automatically. You let me in. You're like 4.5. So obviously breaking our rules. Moving on to our next guest, Josh. By the way, MAGA's scared of me, dude. So there's another guy. I mean, if you are a frequent viewer of the live streams, you know who he is. There's another guy that does something the same thing that I do. His name's Santana. I joined Santana's live stream, and the Trump supporter on the panel automatically left. Said, "Oh fuck, no, Dean's gonna cook me." So I don't know. I legitimately think that so many Trump supporters are actually scared.
Shut
of
up.
me. Dude, you're like 4.5. You shut up. Go back to class, dude. What are you dishing on your lunch break? It's 2 p.m.
I'm joking.
Go back to class, Josh. Follow the rules. Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Mullins Leatherwork. My God, what is going on today? Holy cow, dude. Holy cow. What's up, Mullins? Do you support Trump?
I got a question for you about guns. Or
Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
No.
Then you're banned.
No.
Sorry, buddy. 0 exceptions. Literally 0 exceptions. There are no exceptions that will be made for absolutely anyone because the Trump supporters are so scared of me, right? That it's like really hard to find them. Like there's more people that want to come up here and troll than those Trump supporters that are down for a dialogue. Mason, age, please.
I'm 18.
What year are you born in?
2001.
You're
nigger,
so
nigger.
terrible at math. You know what? Thank you for proving that racists are actually so dumb. Yes, guys. The same guy that came up here and spammed the N-word, okay, thinks that if you're 18 in 2025, you were born in 2001. What a great demonstration. Honestly, what a great demonstration. I just, I never want anybody to come up on my live stream and spam slurs. But out of all of the guests that have come up on
Bro,
this live stream
Dean,
and spam
Dean, I love
slurs.
you.
I appreciate that,
Dean.
but you are unfortunately banned because you're breaking the rules. I really appreciate him for first demonstrating that he literally is like more unintelligent than your average first grader. A first grader, okay, could tell you that if you were 18, you couldn't have been born in 2001 because 2001 plus 18 is, 2019. So moving on to our next guest, Roy here, guys. We've had more Trump supporters that want to come up here and spam slurs than those that are down to debate us. So keep in mind, folks, if you're on the left and you're ever trying to argue that anti-black racism is real and prevalent in American society, and then the person on the right will say, hell no, it's not, just keep in mind. Yeah, more Trump supporters want to come up here and spam the N-word than we have Trump supporters that want to explain why Trump is a good president. Because you can't explain why Trump is a good president. You can't, because there's no argument for it. And for all of like my fence sitters watching this live stream right now, I really hope that this is doing something for you. I think that this is a pretty compelling argument why you shouldn't support Trump. You got me. You got Dean, who's over here. Trump's a bad president. I want anybody who disagrees to come up and have a good, transparent dialogue with me about why you disagree. And then with 15,000 viewers, we don't have one person that supports Trump that wants to debate. That should throw you off that fence, because it really shows that out of 15,000 people, not one person has a good argument why Trump should be president. Consider it. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Pinky.
Hello. Hi. So
I'm sorry, underage. Moving on to the next guest we got for the... I mean, I guess I could have just had a high voice. If you're above the age of 18, feel free to hop back in the guest request. I should ask you for your age first. For the people pictures,
Hello?
do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
28.
28, and do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Via, thank you for the sparkles. Cool, man. Well, before we hop into our debate, I have a couple people to thank you for their love real quick, but then we'll certainly be debating. I'll pass the mic to you. Could be a lot of fun. Just real quick, Libby, thank you so much for the $15 over on Venmo. Says you broke in too many toys. I know that's what Santana likes to say. Thank you for the $15, Libby. Then Rue, thank you for the $20. He says, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Thank you for being you and always showing up for what's right. Thank you, Rue. Show some love to Rue and Libby down below in that comment section. Then also Jessica, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you, Jessica. And then Taylor with a 5. Show some love to Libby, Taylor, Jessica, and Rue. And Taylor, I just read your message. I'm so sorry to hear that. As well as Christopher, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. He says, hey, Dean, love your recent appearance on Jubilee. Doing great as always. Thanks, man. Catio, thank you so much for the $10. He says, hey, Dean, watch your lives every day and really enjoy the stuff that you do. Thank you, Catio. Angel with the $4, thank you so much. And Serena, yo, thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. That is crazy. And then also over on YouTube Super Chat, Lola, thank you for the $50. I want to see 500 Serena W's and 500 Lola W's. Serena says, love you. I love you too. Then Lola says, hope everyone had a great holiday. Happy Boxing Day for those who celebrate. Thanks for doing what you do. My international friends ask me what we're doing to stop this threat. I always share your socials and say people like you are doing as much as possible. Oh, Lola. You've showed up now for a handful of streams. I appreciate you for your continued support. Show some love down below. Then two last people here real quick. Harley, thank you for the $15 over on PayPal. He says, happy belated Merry Christmas, Dean. Well, belated Merry Christmas to yourself, Harley. And then Martin with the $2. Thank you guys all so much. We're all caught up. If you guys want to support me, you can find the V and the P in the link tree in the bio. Of course, that's Venmo and PayPal. Get 100% of those proceeds. It's also right there and in the pinned comment over on YouTube. But sir, appreciate you for your patience. The mic is yours. Tell us how you still support this terribly tyrannical, idiotic president, Mr. Trump. And Logan, thank you for the galaxies.
I appreciate the time. I know there's a lot of people who are just coming in here and saying awful stuff, but I think I'm like a single voter issue kind of guy where immigration was kind of like a really big issue. And I think a lot of people kind of feel the same way, where it was just kind of like it was just a lot to see every day, where we were seeing like innocent people be killed because there was a migrant or somebody that was allowed into the country illegally. Mm-hmm. And it was just really heartbreaking to see. I don't like death. I don't like genocide, but it was just really difficult to see that every day during like the Biden administration. And it was something that I think that he really has cracked down on. Like I think we're at record low for the entire essence of the United States. We have record low numbers of immigration coming in, or illegal immigration, I should say. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like the biggest thing for me. Like pros and cons with everybody, right? Like I didn't necessarily hate Biden. I didn't hate Kamala. I don't hate Trump. I like and dislike. I think proper discourse is important. which is one of the reasons why I think what you do is also good, because it's like, even though there's probably a lot of people who don't agree with you, you still give people the chance to talk about what they do like and what they don't like, right? But that was kind of like my biggest thing, that I really appreciated, because I had a close friend of mine, who his son was actually killed, and because of an illegal immigrant. And so it was kind of just, I think, also the fact that it's so close. When it's like, you remember when people were saying like, oh, I don't know anybody who's died from COVID, so it's not real. And then you meet someone who's like, oh, my father died from COVID, and you're like, oh shit, it is real. And so I think that's probably why. I still kind of support the idea of what he's doing, because he is getting a lot of bad people out. I will say, with that whole,
Can I respond?
there was like a six. Yeah. Go for it.
I'm going to go top to back. I'm going to respond to the last thing that you said there. You said that you had a friend who had a child that was killed by an undocumented immigrant, and this is why you despise them all so much. I have a friend whose son was killed in a school shooting by a white man. His name is Brent Cross. Okay, his son's name was Uzi. Now Uzziah. But my takeaway from that isn't to then turn around and demonize all white men. I'm a white man,
Right.
demonizing myself too in that. So I think it's really unfair for you to say that because you have a friend whose son was killed by an undocumented immigrant, that it's then fair for you to turn around and demonize all undocumented immigrants. More specifically, if you want to get very specific about this, the reason why that's unfair is because the person that killed your friend's son was a terrible person. If this was like intentional murder, I mean, you haven't shared with me the specifics, but one of the things that made them murder your friend's son what was not the fact that they are an undocumented immigrant. It was probably the fact that they're a shitty person with, road
Right.
moral virtues, apathy, lack of a care for others, so on and so forth. And a couple other points I'd like to point out here. I have three that I like to make. The first point that I like to make is in response to this theme of undocumented immigrants and violent crimes. Undocumented immigrants are actually significantly less likely to commit violent crimes than the average American citizen, 2.5 times to be specific. Now, the president that you support running the country is not only more likely to commit a violent crime than the average American citizen, but actually has, of course. We'd be referencing the court that found him guilty for the rape of Eugene Carroll. The second point I'd like to bring up here is in response to a point that you made, arguing that we've seen the lowest level of undocumented entry into this country in a long time, to be specific, since 1978. I agree with you, we have. I still disagree with it because of what has caused it. Donald Trump hasn't implemented good long-term policy to effectively reduce undocumented entry. He's just been a fascist and scared that new entry away by violating the human and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants that are already here by illegally deporting them to a center for terrorists, where they're then beaten and tortured and starved in El Salvador. So no,
Yeah,
I
that's what I
don't
was gonna
think
talk to you about as well.
that abusing human rights to scare people away from doing something that you think is bad is ultimately justified if it scares the people away from doing it. Now, one last point I'd like to make here, because you said a lot, I need to respond to it all. One last point I'd like to make here is on this topic of undocumented immigrants as a whole, and violent crimes. So if there was an immigrant that wanted to legally immigrate into this country, but Border Patrol figured out that they had been held civilly liable for raping a woman, do you think that they should be denied entry and turned around at the gate? Or do you think that they should be allowed entry into this country?
Wait, so they raped somebody in a different country, or the country that they were from?
Yeah, and then Border Patrol figured out that they'd been held civilly liable for it. Do you think they should be denied entry or let into America?
I don't think they should be let in.
You don't
I-
think
I
they
think
should be
that's-
let in? Yeah. Do you think it should be
I think-
harder to
think-
become a citizen of this country or to become president of this country?
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely feel like our citizenship guidelines need to be readjusted. Like, I think pathway to citizenship is something I've personally protested for in Los Angeles, and I've even held up signs that are saying pathway to citizenship, because I think it is important.
Can you answer my
I
question,
think our
please?
system. Yeah, say it again.
Do you think that you should have to be more qualified in order to become a citizen of the USA or to become president of the USA?
I mean, obviously a president, right? But it's
Now here's my final argument. Here's my final argument. You said that you should be denied entry as a immigrant if you've been held civilly liable for raping a woman, and you said that it should be harder to become the president than to become a citizen. Therefore, in virtue of that fact, you'd be a hypocrite if you were to then turn around and argue that you shouldn't be denied access to the Oval Office if you've been held civilly liable for the rape of a woman, meaning that you would argue anyone who runs for that office and has been held civilly liable for raping a woman would be disqualified from the get-go in accordance with your values and principles. That person's Trump. In 2023, a court held him liable for raping E. Jean Carroll in late 1995 to early 1996, meaning that you are contradicting your own principles in arguing that Trump should be president.
Well, I understand that. I do feel like, I mean, everything has to be case by case basis, right? And I do get what you say with the Eugene Carroll thing. I mean, that was a crazy. I don't know what that was, right? Because it felt like part of it was like she said, he said. It's been so long. People were saying it was just a cash grab. I do think that a lot of the media plays a big part in how we are all manipulated, right, mentally.
I believe the claim that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll is irrefutable. I believe that we have so much evidence for it. If you deny it, you're crazy.
I don't know if I necessarily deny anything. I wasn't there, right? So it's like, what do I know? I'm not the lawyers in the case, and I can just read about the articles
Were
and
you
stuff.
there
But
when the undocumented immigrant killed the son of your friend?
no, but my friend was.
So what do you know?
What he told me, I guess, right? That's all anybody knows. What
Okay,
anybody tells us.
So you only use the standard of having to be there in order to know that it occurred when it's convenient towards your political positions. It's very, very, very bad.
No, I think you know, like you said, it makes sense. Like let's go off the basis that
No,
it happened,
doesn't.
right?
It doesn't make sense. Just to clarify, but
No, let me say that.
We're gonna
Okay,
go
I
off
got you.
of the basis that it happened. Okay.
Okay, so let's go off the basis that it happened. It's like, yeah, of course, it's a terrible thing, but it's not even just Trump that's like the worst politician. It's like all of our politicians kind of have these horrible allegations, you know, throughout the course of our history. That
Okay. What are
it's all bad.
what are Obama's allegations?
I mean, there's so much about Obama. They're saying that Obama was involved with trafficking children, using the United States to traffic children. I mean, there's literally
can you
right
show
now.
me this allegation?
Well, let me tell you this. So
Can you show me that allegation?
Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. So Thomas Massey came out a couple of days ago and said that the reason that the Epstein files were being withheld and they're being redacted was because there are high-profile people in our government who were helping him. So it's like if we're aware that these high-profile people, but they don't want to say who, then who do you think it was but the president of the United States? And I believe probably Trump is probably involved. Biden was probably involved. They're all probably cooked.
So can you show me the allegation that Obama was trafficking children? I haven't heard that one before.
You've never heard that?
Yeah, can you show me
look
that?
Look into the what is it called? The emails that were released by what's that guy's name? Not Snowden, the other guy.
Well, I mean, can you just show us?
Well, you know about the $35,000 hot dogs and all that they were flying in from Chicago to the White House, and it's like all coded. It's all coded words. They're not going to say, "Hey, bring a bunch of kids to the White House." It's like, "Hey, here's some hot dogs and pizza."
Wait. So you're saying that? So you're accusing the Big O of trafficking them to the White House?
Yeah, through and everywhere, bro. They're bringing people not even just from those places, bro.
Oh my
They're bringing them all
God.
over.
This is crazy to me. You want to know why this is so crazy to me?
Sure.
When I brought up that Donald Trump was found guilty by a court of law for the rape of E. Jean Carroll, the first words that left your mouth were, "I don't really know because I wasn't there." Even though unanimous jury of 9 made that ruling, you're unsure if you believe it or not, then leading you to assume for the intents and purposes of this debate that it happened to further your own position. But then about Obama, you believe that he trafficked KIDS to the White House to then be raped with no evidence whatsoever. I mean, I think that this is a grand depiction of the delusion of the right, of more specifically the delusion of MAGA, where you operate as a member of a cult and you don't build your beliefs predicated on what reality informs you of, but rather you build reality predicated off of what Trump or your beliefs inform you of. You don't believe that Donald Trump is guilty of insert X, Y, or Z here, regardless of the amount of evidence that we have. But then you do believe that Obama is guilty of X, Y, Z, insert here, with no evidence at all. So, I mean, I think that's very, very ill-informed. I think that's a very harmfully unintelligent
Can I ask
way to
you something?
think. And I just don't really think that you
believe in
use your
conspiracies, though?
rational
believe at all?
frameworks whatsoever and forming your political opinions. Can you please provide me any evidence whatsoever that the Big O was trafficking KIDS to the White House?
No, but that's the whole reason why they don't want to take him
So
down.
there's no evidence. So you
right?
believe in things without
There,
evidence.
there's no probable evidence that's been pushed into
so I just want to
courts.
clarify. You believe in things with no evidence.
I believe that all of the people in our government are evil.
Okay, so that's not a direct answer to my question. You said that you had no evidence, right, that the Big O did this. By the way, I'm using this vague language not to be funny, but not to be taken down for misinformation by TikTok, because this is misinformation. So you believe that the Big O did this with no evidence whatsoever, okay, and you acknowledge both of those points. So please tell us, just be honest. So you believe in things without evidence.
I mean, live restrict.
Yeah, he got it for misinformation. So we got to kick him out. Moving on to the next guest, guys. He got a restriction for misinformation, and I was repeating what he was saying. So I hope I don't get taken out for misinformation. But I was like, making my words vague by spelling out the word kids, referring to Obama as the Big O. So hopefully I don't get one of those similar restrictions. What a crazy argument. Yeah, continue to try to justify your support for Trump, even though everything we know about what he did to E. Jean Carroll, the beauty pageant contestants of Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, and everything that's come out in relation to himself in the Epstein files in the last 72 hours, by basically positing that the Big O has done similar things with no evidence whatsoever. You, sir, are an uninformed, unintelligent MAGA cult member. Holly, hello. Do you support Trump?
What?
Holly, do you support Trump as president?
No, I did not click anything.
Oh, no worries, Holly. You take care. You take care, Holly. Have a good rest of your day, Holly. Couple people to thank here. Kylie, thank you for the $3 over on Venmo. Appreciate you for that love. By the way, Rebecca got you loaded up. And no, Rebecca, hop back in the guest request. I want to bring you up here to chat. Kylie, thank you so much for the $3. Who says, my very MAGA father has agreed to debate you. He's 47 and I'm 21. I'm in the guest box. My handle is It's Me Kylie. What a perfect time to send that donation, and we'll bring you up. Alexis, thank you for the $5. Show some love to Alexis down below. Samantha, thank you for the $5. And Atlas, thank you for the $55 over on Venmo. Yo! Show some love to Atlas down below in those live chats, ladies and gentlemen. Atlas with the $55 says, just sending some love. Had a rough day and wanted to do something kind. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Well, first and foremost, Atlas, that is so kind. That is outrageous. Thank you for your support. And second of all, I'm sorry that you've had a rough day. Please show some love to Alice down below in that comment section. I hope that the live can make your day a little bit better. Thank you so much for the love. And then Jaden, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says, currently on my lunch break, decompressing and listening to the live. Thank you for speaking up for those of us who don't have a voice. Well, Jaden, thank you for the $10. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Caitlin, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Rebecca, thank you for the $20. Who says, hey, Dean, small donation for putting up with all the abuse and hypocrisy. $20 is not small. Thank you so much. Let's get 200 Rebecca W's. Let's also show some love to Christopher for the $5 and Morgan with the $5. Thank you, guys. Now let's go to get Kylie up here. All right. We're looking for Kylie inside of that queue right now. In fact, Kylie, if you would not only hop in that queue for me, like you said you already had, but also spam that comment section so we could try to find you. That'd be greatly appreciated. Unless I found you. Nope, I found you. Well, this will be fun. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. Oh, I'm a big fan. This is so exciting.
You sent that donation in at like the perfect time. Like I read that off and you sent it in like right as that last guy, got banned for misinfo. We're actively looking for somebody to debate. That was perfectly timed. So very good.
Okay,
very good.
yay. Please be nice because I love him. And that's all I'm gonna say.
I'll try to be nice. Listen, I get it.
Okay.
I love my parents too, even though that they're, very MAGA. I get it, but I'll try to be as nice as possible. But I'm not gonna be dishonest. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, guys. This is Dean.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name, sir?
Ryan.
What did you say? I don't think I heard you. Did you say Reagan?
Ryan.
Rogan. Am I pronouncing that right?
No, Ryan.
Ryan. R-Y-A-N.
Oh, Ryan. I don't know why you had to repeat it 3 times for me to hear that. My apologies, Ryan. Well, Ryan, I understand from your daughter Kylie here that you are a supporter of Trump. On this live, we do debates. We talk to people about why they still support the serving commander-in-chief. A little bit of background on me. I definitely don't support Trump, and I spend my days trying to change people's the minds of individuals that do. So, Ryan, at this point in time, the mic is yours. Tell us why you support Trump as president. I'm going to listen to everything that you say and hopefully change your mind.
I think the economy's much better under him than it was under the last administration. Kylie and I talk a lot. I like him because he's not a politician. I think all politicians are crooks and thieves and liars, and he's not a politician, and that's my biggest thing, I guess. I have lots of reasons, but I like the fact that he's just a normal. I mean, you're going to say he's not normal because he's a billionaire or whatever, but he's just an American. He's not a politician.
Okay. All right. Is there anything, any other reasons that you'd like to give me for now? I'm writing them down as they come to you and you tell them to me. So, I mean, you could give me as many reasons as you want and we could go through all of them individually.
That's the biggest thing, I think. He's just like I said, you're not going to agree, but he's a normal American, not from politics, and he has nothing to gain other than to help the country. Like, he doesn't need the money. I'm sure you're going to argue that he wants power and fame, but I don't think that. He already has power and fame. I think he honestly wants what's best for the country, and he's not a typical politician and has nothing to gain.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So which point do you want to go through first? Do you want to go through your first point, which is you like him because he's good for the economy, or you told me to pick?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick the second one to go through first. You said that you support him because he's not a politician. All politicians are crooks and thieves. That's not him. He's a normal American, and because he's already a billionaire, he has nothing to gain other than to help the country because he doesn't need the money. So I'm going to dispute that all. My first refutation will be on your last 2 points when you said nothing to gain other than to help the country and that he doesn't need the money. So first and foremost, okay, once you I'm trying to be as really towards your side as possible when I say this. Once you hit $10 million, and that's that's a lot of money already. Once you hit $10 million, I don't really think you need another. Okay? Right? So people that will make more than $10 million and keep going, I don't think they do it for the value of the money that they continue to make, but rather because they're just a little different and they just continue to want more and more money for the love of the game and for the pure reason of having more of it, point blank period. Okay? And when we look at billionaires, okay, like Elon Musk, okay, was worth over $300 billion, the richest man in the world. And he still pushed for a $1 trillion payout from Tesla, not because he needed the money, but just because he wanted the money. His life's goal is to make more money, not because he needs it to spend it, but just to claim it and collect it. So even though Donald Trump doesn't need any more money, okay, I think he's just like Elon Musk and all of the other billionaires, where they just simply want it. And if he could enrich himself using the office of the presidency, he's sure as hell going to do it. In fact, he already has by dropping his crypto meme coin, generating him $27 billion in less than 48 hours, plus all of his grifts, like literally today, sending an email out to all of his supporters with a box that says, tick this box if you want to fight the Democrats and stand by President Trump and MAGA during the midterms. And then in very small text under that box, it says, ticking this box will automatically donate $1,000 on December 31st. So he's a grifter. He wants the money. He's in it in part for the money. And that's an undisputable fact. Now, money aside, there's other reasons why I think he wants to be president. One of the bigger ones is to stay out of jail. He was being investigated and prosecuted by individuals of the likes of Jack Smith for trying to rig and steal the outcome of the 2020 election. If he didn't win the 2024 election, then Jack Smith and his special counsel would still actively be prosecuting and investigating Donald Trump for his involvement in J6 and his orchestration of the fake electorate scheme. But he admitted to it in court, my friend. But then the day he won the election, he dissolved that special counsel so they couldn't investigate him, and then he turned around and gave full and complete presidential pardons to his two personal lawyers, Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, who helped in the orchestration of his fake electorate scheme, so they couldn't be prosecuted since they had a full presidential pardon. Same thing with the felonies. He was found guilty of his 34 felonies for falsification of business records in the second degree before he won the 2024 election. And because he won it, ultimately he was sentenced nothing, since it would create a national emergency to send a sitting president to jail. So I think he wanted to become president to keep himself out of jail. But larger than the money, larger than keeping himself out of jail, I think he wants to be president just for the consumption of power. And it's not like this is a new age idea. We've seen so many leaders throughout the course of human history lead for power. This is where dictatorships come from. This is where tyranny comes from. This is where fascism comes from. The consolidation of power to one man or one group of people, right? Just so they have the ability to exert that power and do as they wish, okay? They want to be God. And I think we see Donald Trump fulfilling this role quite fine. We see him calling for the termination of the Constitution because that limits his power. We see him firing judges, firing lawyers, dismantling special counsels who are investigating him or don't want to stand by his rule because it limits his power. We've seen him pardoning his followers that raided the Capitol, smeared their shit on the walls, and tried to kill cops on the steps because that was a test against his power because he willed them to do that. He's infringed on 4 of the 27 amendments of our Constitution in the last 10 months because, once again, as I suggested at the start of my statement, that was a threat to his power and control. And honestly, I could talk all day about this topic, Ryan. I don't want to steamroll you. I don't want to overwhelm you. I've probably already done that. So I'm gonna stop myself and give you the mic to respond.
I think everything you just said is all opinions, and I just have a different opinion.
Okay. Well, I'll try to be more concise with my statements so we could track one point at a time.
It for power. He has all the power he needs. I do agree with you to some degree that once you have that much money, you want more. Everybody does. I don't believe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
I think everybody does.
No, I disagree. I think that most people, if they were to hit like a certain threshold of net worth, they'd probably just retire.
Okay.
You know? Now more specifically here, let's just hone in on like one argument, okay? Because I said a lot, and that's my fault. I think one reason why Donald Trump is a bad president is because he's crossed so many red lines. I want to ask you a very simple question. Would you stop supporting him as president if he called for the death of his political opponents?
Yeah, I guess.
Would you stop supporting Trump as president if you knew with certainty that he'd sexually exploited naked women and naked girls?
Yeah, I guess.
Would you stop supporting him as president if he explicitly called for the termination of the Constitution?
I'm sure you're going to tell me he's done all these things, but yeah, I guess.
Okay. So you said you would stop supporting him as president if he sexually exploited women and girls. You would stop supporting him as president if he called for the termination of the Constitution. And you would stop supporting him as president if he called for the execution of his political opponents. 4 weeks ago, he called for the execution of his political opponents. He pointed towards 7 Democrats in Congress, said they deserve to die, then reposted one of his followers' posts that said, "Hang them, George Washington would." 20 years ago, years 2005, he sat down across the table with Howard Stern on his radio show and told Howard Stern that while he owned Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, he'd unconsensually barge backstage, walk into their dressing rooms where there's no men around, and look at their naked bodies. By definition, that's sexual exploitation. My third point was him calling for the termination of the Constitution. 2 years ago, December of 2022, 3 years ago, sorry, he went on Truth Social and he said what happened in 2020 would allow for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found within the Constitution. So if you want to dispute these claims and ask for evidence, feel free to. I could provide it to you. But if you continue to support Trump after I give you the supporting and undeniable evidence for these claims, you're describing yourself as a member of a cult and a spineless hypocrite that's unwilling to stand by the principles that you just guidelined and outset for us less than a minute and a half ago.
Oh, I didn't outline and set those goals. You did, but I'm a hypocrite. Then if you wanna call me a hypocrite, I'm okay
You
with
said
that.
that you'd stop supporting Trump if he did any of those 3 things.
You're right.
So now's your opportunity to push back against those 3 things. Feel free to ask for evidence, make a counter argument. Inevitably, your pushback will fail because I could prove undeniably that he's called for the termination of the Constitution. I could prove undeniably that he sexually exploited women and girls, and I could prove undeniably that he's called for the death of his political opponents. So what's
go
your
ahead with
response?
the Constitution one.
Sure. All right. Here's a screenshot. Let's go ahead and pull it up now. I think that this is the right.
I think your definition of sexual exploitation is different than mine.
Do you want to go through that one first?
No.
No. We'll go through that one second. Okay. Let me pull up this screenshot of his Truth Social. I thought I had it on standby. I guess I gotta browse through my files real quick. This will be fine. It'll only take a minute. Do be patient. There it is. All right, so here was Trump, December of 2022. Because of TikTok's misinfo guidelines, we can't read the first part of the statement out loud. Feel free to read it to yourself. I'm going to go ahead and start about halfway through this message. A massive FRAUD of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found within the Constitution. I'll leave it up on screen for a moment so you could read it to yourself if you want.
Okay, did he act on that?
Well, no.
Okay.
He didn't, well, because he was not president at the time. He couldn't.
Well, now he is.
Now,
He has been
are you
for years. Did he
acting on
act that?
terminating parts of the Constitution?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally, totally.
Has he tried to do
110%.
that?
Yes.
Like, what part of the Constitution has he tried to ban or whatever?
Great question. And I got a great response. First section of the 14th Amendment.
Wait, is it my turn?
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
asking a question.
know.
What part of the Constitution did he try to ban? The first section of the 14th Amendment.
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
Yes, happily. It's the birthright citizenship section. There we go. It says that all persons born on American soil and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are American citizens. His very first day in office, he signed Executive Order number 14160 into law that said the opposite by trying to take birthright citizenship away from the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, even though that right's been guaranteed to them since 1868.
All right, now let me say this. And I tell Kylie and I debate all the time. I don't necessarily like or agree with everything that he does. I think he's better than the alternative.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did tell us that you would stop supporting him as president if he called for the termination of the Constitution. I proved that he called for the termination of the Constitution. Then you tried to shift the goalpost to him actually acting on it. But even though you shift that goalpost, I was still able to prove to you that he did act on it with Executive Order number 14160 by attempting to terminate the first section of the 14th. So this is one red line that you set. You said you'd stop supporting him if he did it. Obviously, now that I've undeniably proved to you that he has, you still support him. So let's move on to that second red line. You earlier, by the way, for everyone that's new coming in, his second red line was that he would stop supporting Trump as president if he sexually exploited women. And you made a comment on this. You said that our definition of sexual exploitation may be different. So let's try to agree on that first. Can we agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would include a man abusing their position of power over that of a position of vulnerability that a woman is in to further unconsensual sexual conduct?
Sure.
Okay. So Donald Trump sexually exploited women by abusing his position of power as the owner of Miss USA over the position of vulnerability that these women were in their private dressing rooms, feeling vulnerable enough to take their clothes off, get naked, and change, to further unconsensual sexual conduct, more specifically, him barging into that space and looking at them while they were naked and had no clothes on. And the evidence that he did this is undeniable, as he admitted to it on Howard Stern's radio show in April of 2025. Here's a clip.
To do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
you're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay, so he's not fit to be president because he went into a women's locker room 20 years ago?
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, well, I disagree.
Oh, well, I mean, no, you don't. Because you told us before I played that clip and proved to you that he did this, that if he sexually exploited women, you would no longer support him as president.
Yeah, and we disagree on sexual exploitation of women.
No, we don't. I asked you if you would agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would include a man abusing his position of power over the position of vulnerability of a woman to further unconsensual sexual conduct, and you agreed. That's exactly what Trump did. He abused his position
I
of power as the
don't
owner of
think
the
that's what
pageant.
Trump did.
Yeah, for sure, I could explain it. So he said that he'd allow himself to go in there under the guise of an inspection since she owned the place. That's him abusing his position of power. Then obviously the women in that space were naked. That's a position of vulnerability to further the unconsensual sexual conduct of him looking at them while they were naked. So it is. What's your counter argument if you have one? Cass, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I guess I don't have a counter argument. I just disagree with you.
So you disagree with no reason.
I don't believe it's exploitation. Our definition's different.
Well, no, our definition's not different. We come on, dude. We agreed on the definition.
I never agreed on the definition.
Well, I'll play it back when you do.
Well, I guess.
Listen, I got a VOD on YouTube. Unfortunate for you, could just play back into that space and looking at them while they were naked and had no clothes on. That first, can we agree that the definition of sexual exploitation would include a man abusing their position of power over that of a position of vulnerability that a woman is in to further unconsensual sexual conduct?
That's the part I don't agree with. Sure. There is no further.
So do you wait? Just you said that you never agreed to definition. Did you just hear yourself agree to definition?
I think I cut in before it got to that part, but I know I did. I believe you. But I don't. I think where we differ is, what was the last part of that?
To further unconsensual sexual conduct.
Yeah, there was no consensual sexual conduct.
Right, because there was unconsensual sexual conduct.
There was no sexual conduct.
Oh, sure there was. He looked at them while they were naked.
Well, that's where you and I disagree, I guess. I don't consider that. That's not sexual conduct.
Really? So
Not in my opinion.
watching porn isn't sexual conduct?
Yeah, that's not what was happening here.
But that's you looking at the naked body of a woman.
I don't believe that's the same at all.
Wait, what's the difference? I mean, they're both in the furtherance of sexual gratification. I think that's what matters. So, I think I've had a little bit. So I've had a conversation about, well, is looking at the naked body of someone sexual conduct? I'd argue that there's few circumstances where it's not sexual conduct. You know, like going to the doctor. And then having to give consent. By the way, there's still consent involved. Giving consent to the doctor to, maybe, check you out for testicular cancer. And then in the very extreme and limited scenarios where there's not consent and it's still not sexual conduct, would be like you dying, then being rushed to the hospital in the back of the EMS, and them having to rip your shirt off in order to do chest compressions with a machine to save your life. Like, okay, sure, that's not sexual conduct. But in this circumstance, it obviously is sexual conduct, since he was looking at their naked body in the furtherance of no reasonable goal of saving their lives with chest compressions or consensually, checking them out for breast cancer. He was just doing it to do it for sexual gratification or for the exertion of power and control. That is absolutely sexual conduct.
I guess that's where we disagree. I guess I agree with your definition, but I disagree about the sexual conduct part.
I don't think you do. I think as soon as I tailor this personal to you and your family, you will absolutely concede. Your daughter, Kylie, 21. Imagine that you took her to a Kohl's to buy her a new dress, any department store. And, she finds a dress that she thinks she likes. And God forbid that this actually happens, by the way. This is obviously very bad. I just want to make that disclaimer, because we don't want to novelize these experiences by making hypotheticals out of them. So when I do make a hypothetical out of it, I always give an explicit disclaimer that this is terrible, this is real, and it actually happens. But God forbid, she finds a dress that she likes and she wants to try it on in one of the dressing rooms at this department store. So you go and you get the store manager or an employee. They open the door. She goes in, she closes it behind her, and she takes her clothes off to try that dress in. The store manager brushes past you, puts you to the side, knowing that your daughter's in that dressing room naked with no clothes on, and peeks his head over the door specifically to look at her naked body. Was that unconsensual sexual conduct?
I wouldn't consider it consensual conduct. I'd probably get in a fist fight, but I wouldn't use the definition sexual conduct. And I thought it was okay for guys to be in women's dressing rooms.
You can't say any LGBT plus name.
So you're seriously going to sit here and say that it's okay for the store manager to look at your naked daughter and sexually exploit her in front of her?
He's just telling me the rules, some rules I didn't know about. I'm sorry, say that again. No, I
So you're going to
think
sit
that's
here in front of...
horrible.
Oh, you think it's horrible? Why?
I wouldn't call it sexual conduct. It's just not right.
Why do you think it's horrible? You said you'd get into a fist
It's
fight with
illegal.
a person. Why would you think it's horrible? Why would you get into a fist fight?
Because it's illegal and that's not what I want for my daughter.
Oh, that's not what you want for your daughter. I agree. But
No.
why?
Because that's a horrible thing for somebody
It's
to
horrible.
do.
Once again, I agree. But why? Why is it horrible? Just disclaimer. I agree. I'm asking you this question for a greater purpose. Why is it horrible?
I know you want me to say it's sexual conduct, and I don't agree that it is.
I just want you to describe why you think it's horrible. I'm not fishing for any specific answer. I'm just fishing for your thoughts. Why do you think it's horrible? Is it because it's exploitive? Is it because it's an impediment and infringement on, the sanctity, space, and consent of Kylie? Why is it horrible?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'll buy that.
So you just agreed that it's exploitative
No,
as
to
it's
the
an
second thing you
infringement
said.
on her consent.
Yes, it's infringement on her personal space.
On her personal space? I don't think so. I don't necessarily think that's the only reason. I don't necessarily think that's the only reason. Because, right, like, you barging into Kylie's room, let's just assume that she lives with you. I don't know if that's true or not. While she's like fully clothed and she's fully clothed, but she still doesn't want you in her room and you barge in there, right? That's different, right, than her being naked and another man knowing she's naked, then barging in on her to look at her while she's naked. So it's not merely an infringement upon her personal space.
I mean, I don't know how to describe it. We all just know it's wrong. I wouldn't call it sexual conduct.
Because the only
but
way to
obviously it's
describe
wrong.
it is to accept what I'm saying. My description is the description of why it's wrong. How about this? What's sexual conduct?
Ooh. Yeah, I can't answer that on the spot.
I bet I can. I bet I could come up with a working definition.
But you do it every day.
Well, I haven't. I don't do this often. I bet I could come up with a working definition. An action that either does lead to sexual gratification, typically leads to sexual gratification, without good reason outside of sexual gratification. Is that a workable definition, or do I need to Google it?
Yeah, Google it, I guess.
Okay, so let's see here. Actually, they give a very similar definition myself. Sexual conduct refers broadly to acts involving intimate body parts, either directly or through clothing, often with the intent for arousal or gratification.
Okay.
So sexual, you accept that?
Yes.
So looking at like the naked body of a woman, not in the furtherance of any good reason, like providing medical care, so on and so forth. Is that like, does that often involve like looking at the intimate body parts, like the female member, breasts, so on and so forth, often with the intent of arousal or gratification?
I don't know that was his intent.
Well, it says
I
often.
would argue that probably
So
wasn't.
it says often with the intent for arousal or gratification. So even if that wasn't his intent, could you agree that that action still often involves that intent?
I think you would have to prove that you would have to prove intent. And in this case, I don't
So the
know
thing
that
is,
there was
first and
intent.
foremost, that's not an answer to the question that I asked you. It says often with this intent, meaning it's not necessary. It's just often present. And yeah, looking at the naked body of a woman, like without any furtherance for like good reason of like medical providence, so on and so forth, it does often involve the intent of arousal or gratification, right?
Sure.
Okay, so then you just defined Donald Trump looking at the naked body of these women with a lack of any good reason, like providing medical care, saving their life, so on and so forth, as sexual conduct.
No, I
Unless
think
you
intent
unless you
matters.
could posit some good reason that he was doing this. So that's basically what it boils down to. Unless you could posit some good reason why he was doing this, it is sexual conduct. And then you were also questioning the intent there. I mean, I just used deductive reasoning to determine his intent was sexual arousal or gratification, or like the exertion of power and control, because there's just simply no other feasible explanation. Like, feel free to
He's
try
the
to give
president
one.
of a pageant. He could have been in there looking at the electrical light work. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's not what he said. He said he looked at their naked bodies and they look great. So,
Yeah, he did
outruled.
say that. But I don't know why he was in there.
Oh, well, I mean, he said it was to go in there to look at the naked bodies of them because they look great, to do an inspection. So, yeah.
I think you're jumping to a lot of conclusions about something that happened 20 years ago.
No, I'm just
honestly.
repeating what he said. Listen.
Well,
to
you
it,
could
dude.
also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
And also, the reason why we know that this is sexual intent is because of what he says directly before bringing up him going into their dressing rooms. Listen to what he says directly before that clip starts.
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would
Checking
say
out
no.
the light bulbs.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman. You want to have that. You're
Well,
a
you
guy who likes
certainly
to have
think about it.
everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
Conflict?
yes?
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later
The
on.
question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina.
Checking out the light bulbs.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before.
Oh, so let me get this straight. This conversation's context is Donald Trump talking about sleeping with the beauty pageant contestants, labeling it as a conflict of interest that he'll have to deal with later. Then Howard Stern responds by saying that all these foreign girls really just want to sleep with him. And then he brings up, well, the funniest thing I've done is I'll unconsensually walk into their dressing rooms to look at their naked bodies. And your response was, well, I don't think that we could reasonably determine an intent of sexual arousal or engaging in sexual conduct. And maybe he was just looking at the light bulbs. I think maybe you're just simply not using your rational faculties. And,
That could be.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be honest.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I just don't know.
How could you not know?
Can I ask-
Dude.
can I
No,
change
come
the
on.
subject?
Come on. Be fair with me. Come on. Just be fair with me. Donald Trump's talking about sleeping with the beauty pageant contestants. Howard Stern's like, oh, they say hello with vagina. And then Donald Trump is like, well, you know what I'll do? I'll barge into their dressing rooms, look at them while I have no clothes on. They look great, and I get away with it. Be fair. No one in their right and honest mind, okay, wouldn't know what he was doing in that space. Not only because he stated it, they were naked and they look great, but also because of the framing of that statement in a larger conversation about Donald Trump talking about sleeping with women and Howard Stern saying that the women said hello with their vaginas. Come on. Be honest. Be fair.
All right, can we change the subject? I don't know how long I have, but I could list a whole bunch of stuff that Biden's done in his past and Kamala and everybody else, but
Kamala?
how about policy stuff? I'm more interested in policy
If
stuff.
you could name one comparable thing that Kamala Harris has done in her life to what we just heard Donald Trump admit to, we'll talk about policy.
I can't. I don't know off
You
the top
just
of my
said
head.
you could.
No, I didn't. Well, yes, I've lied. I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah. And by the way, even if you could say something terrible that Kamala Harris or Biden have done in the realm of sexual misconduct, okay, irrational mind wouldn't take away that therefore because a person on the opposite team did it, too, I'm okay with supporting the guy on my team that did it. No, fuck no. Any rational mind's take would be there that I don't support either of them, not that I support one of them. So not only, okay, is there no reasonable denial that Donald Trump sexually exploited these women, per the definition that we agreed on, because of what he said in the context of the conversation that it was in. Not only did you not even have a parking ticket on who he ran against in the last election, Kamala Harris, but you also told us before this conversation started that you would stop supporting Trump as president if he had unconsensually looked at the naked bodies of these women and sexually exploited them. Proved to you that he has, and you still support him. And you also said that you would stop supporting Trump as president if he had called for the termination of the Constitution. I proved to you that he had, and you still support him. So what it seems to be is you are a man who likes to act like you hold to these certain principles to guide your beliefs of not supporting people that do bad things that are in conflict with your principles. But then once you learn that the guy you do support has done those bad things, you don't care. That is very culty to me.
I think all politicians have done bad things.
Your first point was to say that Donald Trump wasn't a politician, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're already ditching that point. And I think that all politicians have done bad things too. I agree. Okay, politicians aren't exactly the best of us, but I can't name a politician that I support that's been held civilly liable for raping a woman that has boasted about sexually exploiting women and girls, especially the alternative to Trump, who's Kamala Harris, who you don't have as much as a parking ticket on. Just saying that other politicians have done similar things isn't a good argument at all. You know, like this is like, imagine we were in a time machine, teleported back to 1832, antebellum era slavery, okay? And we were having a conversation next to a white guy that owned slaves. And I said, this white guy is a despicable POS because he's a slave owner. Would your response be, well, there's other white guys that own slaves too. Why should we condemn him? No, fuck no. Hopefully your response would be, let's condemn them all.
Yeah, I don't know.
So do you understand the point I'm trying to get across to you here?
Yeah, I still don't agree with you, but yeah, I guess I understand your point.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to be able to push that point any further than I already have, because I've already described the facts. I've already introduced you to reality, and you still don't see it. So let me ask you, what do you see? Why are you still sitting on the other end of this phone call saying I support Trump as president?
Policies.
Which ones?
Economy.
Which ones?
Let's talk about the economy. Gas
policies?
prices, food prices.
Food prices?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think
inflation.
that food prices are getting better?
Yes.
No.
For sure.
No, food prices
100%.
Food prices are going up according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. BLS.gov reports an increase of the price of nearly every commodity sold in the grocery store since January 21st, which was Donald Trump's inauguration day. Keep in mind that's his own federal entity, the BLS. He appointed the head of it. So he kind of controls what they report. Not to mention that Donald Trump has been rolling back some of his own policies, such as his tariffs on beef and coffee, to reduce the price of food items sold in the grocery store, which means he knows his own policy has aided, I think that's correct grammar, correct me if I'm wrong here, chat, has aided and abetted in the increase in the price of groceries. So, wrong there too.
Yeah, I don't have all these stats right in front of me.
Yeah, the gas prices. I guess while you're thinking, I'll respond to this too. Gas prices have gone down astronomically, not because of Trump. In fact, assuming that because the price of gas has gone down under a second term, while he's president, therefore he caused it. That would be what we call a correlation causation fallacy. You'd have to prove causation by describing to me and all the viewers what he did to reduce the price of gas. Not to mention the fact that if you don't want to do that and just want to assume a correlation causation fallacy is your argument, well, I could then say that Donald Trump caused the pandemic because it happened under his first term. Donald Trump caused the highest level of unemployment in this country in 100 years, 14.8% April of 2020, because it happened under him in his first term, so on and so forth.
Well, I think drilling, his first day in office, he started drilling again. That took gas prices down, obviously. And according to FB.org, which you just quoted, Thanksgiving this year cost 5% less than last year.
Is that the Walmart?
Which means prices went down.
Is that, wait, what's your source? Let me see it.
FB.org, that's the same source you just quoted.
FB?
Isn't it FB.org?
The Farm Bureau.
Yeah.
Okay, where can I read this? That wasn't the source that I just quoted.
Oh, I don't know. I just Googled Thanksgiving dinner
price.
prices. It's American Farm Bureau.
Okay, let's see.
The
Cost
same source
of
you just used.
cooking a Thanksgiving meal. Dinner for your friends and family will cost less than last year, marking the third straight year of price declines. Okay, well, that's really easy to dispute. Marking the third straight year of price declines. Not only does this mean that FB.org, your source, would report for the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the price of food was going down. But it would also mean that it going down for this third year under Donald Trump in its first year is just simply tracking a trend onset by and under the Biden-Harris administration. But I bet that everyone with a brain watching the stream, including yourself, can agree that no, Thanksgiving did not cost less this year than it did 3 years ago. So there's something in their methodology here that is probably flawed, and I bet people on the right, left, and center could accept that.
I can't talk about specific foods, but we all know eggs were like $12 a cart or a dozen or something under Biden. Those are way down. Like,
Are you talking about it like the very end of his administration?
Yeah.
So, actually, you're going to be talking about the last month under Biden, then the first 3 months under Trump due to the chicken flu. They had to kill a bunch of chickens because of it, which significantly impacted supply. And by the way, if your logic is entailing that because the price surged under Biden and was also high under Trump, that Biden caused higher egg prices and Trump caused higher egg prices too.
I think food prices are down, but I'll have to do some more research.
Well, according
on that.
to your own source, they've been going down for the last 3 years under Biden as well. So that's not a special and unique argument to entail that Trump is a good president that is driving prices down.
How about inflation?
Well, that is inflation. And guess what? We just got our third quarter figures back on inflation. Inflation is down. But you know what else is down? Jobs. We've had 1.3 million layoffs so far this year. In fact, we now have the highest level of unemployment in 5 years, that 5-year high being the peak under the pandemic, in November of 2025 at 4.6%. And GDP growth is down by 1% compared to where it was at last year. So when we see that inflation is down, it's not always good, especially when other macroeconomic variables are hinting at, less spending, lower wage growth, which is also true, lower job openings, more layoffs, reduced GDP growth. That's actually an indicator of a recession, right? We saw less inflation in 2007 through 2009 because it was one of the most devastating economic periods in modern American history. So inflation on its own isn't always a good macroeconomic variable that informs us about how the economy as a whole is performing. Because what we want to see optimally is slowing inflation while we're also observing an increasing rate in real median wages, and an increasing rate of job growth, and an increasing rate of economic performance. But when we see slowing inflation with a decreasing rate in real median wages, decreasing rate of economic prosperity via GDP growth, decreasing rate of job growth, job opportunity, and an increasing rate of unemployment, that's kind of a recession indicator.
I think I definitely have more money in my pocket under Trump. And his first administration before COVID was the best economy in decades and decades.
Thank you for the vibrant disco ball, Eric. Wait, so what has Trump done in the last 10 months to put more money back in your pocket?
Personally, my wages are up, gas prices are down. I feel like food prices are down, the stock market's up. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of everybody, but that's my personal experience.
Okay, well, if the stock market was up, you wouldn't have more money in your pocket. You'd have more money invested in the market. Second of all, you said that gas prices were down. Trump has done nothing to reduce the price of gas. I could give you a long, detailed, nuanced explanation insofar as why gas is down. But if you can't attribute something to Trump that he's done to reduce the price of gas, you're engaging in a correlation causation fallacy. And I think that covers your responses. So what has Donald Trump done to reduce the price of gas?
Opening the pipelines?
Oh, drilling more oil. You actually made that point earlier. So drilling more oil is good for this country. And you support the president that drills more oil, right?
Right.
That president was Biden. You support Biden. Because under his administration, we actually approved 55% more drilling permits on federal land compared to Trump in his first term. That source would be Politico Pro. And if you go to the EIA.gov, that is literally the Energy Information Administration, who's been tracking the production of crude oil in this country since 1985 and has governed by administrations, including Trump right now. What you'll see is that Biden actually produced 2.3% more oil under the totality of his 4 years compared to Donald Trump's first 4 years, including the massive dip we had in oil production for the first year and a half of Biden's because of the pandemic and the closure of refineries and producers. But because of the explosive growth in oil production in the last 3 years or so of Biden's term, he actually, for a handful of months, made America the leading producer of oil globally. The most oil ever produced in any given month under Trump in his first term was 12.9 million barrels of oil per day in November of 2019. The Biden-Harris administration produced more than that from July of 2023 until the end of their term, averaging over 13 million barrels of oil per day. So if you think that producing more oil is good and you support the president who produces more, you, sir, are riding with Biden.
All right, I'll have to look up those stats. I find that hard to believe.
You're on your computer right now. Okay, let me know when you're on your search bar.
I'm on it.
Okay, type in EIA.gov. Don't click enter yet. Crude, CRUDE, oil production. Then hit enter. The first, or actually either the first, second, or third thing that will pop up on your phone screen, computer screen, laptop screen, iPad screen, wherever you're Googling this, will be U.S. field production of crude oil. Click on that link and then look at the graph. like, boom, you've proven that I'm right. Thanks.
All right, I'll take your word for it for now.
You don't even need to take my word for it. That's a beautiful thing. Go to Google, U.S. field production of crude oil, EIA. You can look at it for yourself. Oh my God. Yo! I'm so sorry, sir. Just give me a second. Cat! Thank you for the lion! Holy crap! Holy crap, guys. That is a second biggest gift on TikTok. Cat continues to come in here and drop a lion like almost at bro. Cat, I love you. Queen Cat is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Show some love to Cat in all of those live chats. Thank you so much for the love, Cat. Please show some love to Cat down below. Kylie's father, what is your response there to the data that you see on your screen reported to you by the Energy Information Administration? And Drew, thank you for this one.
I'm seeing something different. I see in August 2024, the U.S. produced an average of 13.4 million barrels, and the EIA forecasts U.S. production to average 13.5 million in 2025 and 2026.
You actually didn't dispute my argument. I said from July of 2023 until the end of Biden's term, they produced more than 13 million barrels of oil per day. And you said, I'm seeing something different because in August of 2024, under Biden's term, after July of 2023, they produced more than 13 million barrels of oil per day. So,
correct. And now they're estimating 13.5, which is more than 13.3.
So we,
They're
yeah,
estimating
so we
in
see a
2020.
continuation of the trend. And yeah, we do see a continuation of the
So we're
trend
producing more
because
oil
now American oil producers. So I'll just give you a little bit of background on this. So Russia accounts for around 50% of OPEC plus is oil output. Okay, and there's a very delicate balance of OPEC's production and America's production of oil to kind of arbitrate the global oil supply to then B, control the prices because of the supply and demand. And what happened was when we sanctioned Russian oil, we stopped buying it from them and cut off a lot of the global oil supply. American producers then went into overdrive to produce even more oil to try to increase the global supply because we just cut ourselves off from like 25% of it to then reduce prices. And during that time span, they made so much money. They profited the most they have in our country's history that they then were able to reduce the average cost per barrel down from like $70 through $85 per barrel to $40 through $60 per barrel. As a new equilibrium price, which then allowed them to sell more oil at lower prices for American consumers while continuing to ramp up their own production to continue to profit maximize. So we saw this trend started under the Biden-Harris administration, and it's continued until now. I agree that production is still up under Trump in his second term, but all that I'm saying here is that we saw the most oil ever produced as a country in any 4-year span under the Biden-Harris administration in the years that they were serving from a significant which is a significant difference to Donald Trump in his first 4 years, and is honestly a quite compelling argument insofar as why you should elect Biden in accordance with your values, because they were able to produce that much oil even with a massive drop in oil production in 2020 through 2021 onset by the pandemic.
Okay, but we're producing more now, which makes the gas prices go down.
Okay, and I just told you why, and I explained how it has nothing to do with Trump.
I disagree that it doesn't have anything to do with Trump.
So then what has Trump done to increase this oil production?
Drill more.
But he doesn't drill. American companies drill more. The influence that a president can have over those American companies drilling more is like the federal government approving more permits for drilling on federal land. But that's not something that he's doing disproportionately to what we saw the Biden-Harris administration do in the last 4 years.
No, but he's doing it more, which I believe makes the prices go down.
The president doesn't drill oil. American companies drill oil. The influence that our government can have is on restrictions and is on the approval of drilling permits on federal land. He's not disproportionately approving more federal permits for drilling on federal land, and you couldn't name any restrictions that he's removed from the market that have led to a massive surge in an increase in production. Therefore, any influence that he could have is not being seen insofar as why this is occurring.
All right. Well, it has been very nice talking to you.
Do you have a response to that?
No, I don't. I don't do this all day, every day. I don't have the research to respond correctly.
Okay, listen, it's been nice talking to you too. I guess this is, your cue that you're going to leave. So just keep in mind that you support a president that has sexually exploited women and girls in their changing rooms. You support a president that's been held civilly liable for the rape of a woman. You support a president that's not only called for the termination of our Constitution, but has acted on that with executive orders like number 14160. You support a president that literally tried to rig, right, an ELECTION. We're talking about his fake electors plot of 2020 when he installed fake, VOTES for himself, then try to get them passed through Congress. Just Google Trump's fake elector scheme. Okay, you also support a president that has 34 felonies. You support a president that has been categorically infringing on the human and constitutional rights of immigrants, sending them to a center for terrorists in El Salvador, where they're then beaten, tortured, and starved. And now is trying to use his influence as the president over companies like CBS to suppress that from being known. That's why CBS capitulated to the administration, refused to release their investigation into CCOT, which inevitably got leaked through CBC in Canada. You support a president that has been implicated in the Epstein files. Seemingly, we have this letter that Epstein sent to Larry Nazir, another child PDF, stating that Donald Trump shares their affiliation for young, nubile, or sexually attractive girls. Same thing with new FBI reports that we've received. A woman reported to the FBI that he raped her when she was 13 years old in 1984. Another report to the FBI said that he did the same thing to her, but it was gang RAPE, and then she was then impregnated, and then once she gave birth, Donald Trump and her biological father took that child to Lake Michigan and drowned them. And you support a president that took healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans through the Big Beautiful Bill, food stamps away from 3 million Americans, low-income Americans through the Big Beautiful Bill, and during the last 12 days of the government shutdown in November, refused to feed 16 million starving Americans, even after a court ordered that he had to. He just disregarded that ruling and appealed it to SCOTUS until the government shutdown ended because of the capitulation of 7 spineless stims. And the reason why you support this president is very vague. You said inflation, and then we kind of went through inflation and other macroeconomic variables, and then you said gas prices. We went through oil production historically under the Biden-Harris administration, and why we see lower prices today, and how you can't name anything that Trump has done to reduce the price of gas. You just basically assume that he had. I went over the different means that a president can use to reduce the price of gas by allowing more drilling on federal land, removing regulations. You weren't able to name any removed regulations that increase production, and you weren't able to respond to the fact that he hasn't been disproportionately approving more drilling permits. You just basically assume that that's something that you've done. So in other words, at the end of the day, you support this terrible tyrant, wannabe dictator, rapist, felon, POS, with no good reason at all. And when asked for your reason, you say words like inflation, you say words like better economic performance, and you say words like lower gas prices. But then at the end of the day, the meat on the bow is lacking, and you have no good reason to believe these things, especially considering the cons that exist from these things, like the normalization of rape culture, like the acceptance of sexual predators into ranking positions of power, like war crimes in the South Caribbean that in turn have rebounding effects on immigrants, have rebounding effects on Black Americans, have rebounding effects on gay Americans, trans Americans, and women and girls such as your daughter Kylie. So please consider these facts. These things matter, and these things materially impact the lives of people that are meaningful to you.
I will consider. Thank you.
Have a good one.
And
Kylie, you have a good one.
you too. Thanks.
Yep, we're going to go and get that next guest loaded up into the box, guys. Only join into that box if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got our next guest, Bolin, loading up in right now. Hello, Bolin. Everyone in my chat spamming, let him join. Typically, I don't know. I think it's just like coincidence, but every time like my whole chat like agrees that they want this one specific Trump supporter to join, like they just end up being like a troll. Like, or is it just like another trend? Are you trolling?
Mom, I made it.
You made it.
Boy, this is so tough.
I think it is a troll. Appreciate you so much for that, Galaxy Kelly. Okay, guys, who's Bolin? I don't know who he is. We also have a handful of people to thank for the love over on Venmo and PayPal. Dwayne, thank you so much for the $15. Sorry, I actually think it's Doneen. Doneen, thank you for the $15. Who says this guy isn't going to change his mind? Your comment about the cult sadly applies here. Yup. Thank you for the $15, Don. Let's get 150 Don W's down below in that comment section. Hello, do you support Trump? No, he's not even there. Show some love to Don down below in that comment section while we're looking for the next Trump supporter. Also, show some love to Ben for the $10, who says, so walking into a room of naked people for your own pleasure is not sexual conduct? Man, that is a wild definition. Yup. Appreciate you so much for the $10, Ben. Oh, then Ben actually adds on here, by your logic, strip clubs are just libraries with bad lighting. Because it wouldn't be sexual conduct to look at the strippers. Ben? Oh my God. I need to know who Ben is. He continues to like drop like donations with like legitimately really good counter arguments to the points that the guests make. I like this Ben guy. Thank you, Ben. As well as Madeline. Thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Show some love to Maddie. Also show some love to Alexia with a $5 saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Then Sean, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you. Please show some love to Sean down below. I'd also like to thank Ellie with the $2 who says, Dean, it's pronounced Nasser, as in Larry Nasser. Oh, not Nazir. Nasser. Thank you. And then Norma, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. Says your recap with her dad was Awesome. Chef's kiss. Well, thank you, Norma. I was just trying to keep it real with him. These things matter, but thank you for the $15. Show some love to Norma for their support down below in that comment section. As well as I'd like to thank you, Alexis, for the $15 on PayPal, who says, Dean, I've been watching you for about a year now, and this is my first time ever donating. I just want to say that your lives are the best part of my day. Oh, thank you, Alexis. And thank you for watching. Guys, please show some love to Alexis down below. Jennifer and Amy, thank you guys both for the 5. Then over on YouTube Super Chat, I think that we have one person to thank before we hop into this debate with Joseph. We sure do. Full band. Thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. Who says, I feel so bad that a daughter is learning in real time that her dad is a terrible idiot. From the sound of it, she already knew his political views. So, I mean, that doesn't make it that much better, but, you know, at least it wasn't like a shock to her, most likely. Mad Cow, thank you for the motorcycle. And Fool, thank you for the 20. Guys, please show some love to all of our donors down below in that chat. I'm so incredibly grateful for every single one of you guys. Thank you for supporting what we do here. Joseph, hello. Do you support Trump?
Play Farm Sim, Dean, please.
Banned. Farm Sim Kid was very patient. We're going to go to put the rules back up on screen here, guys. Only join in that queue if you happen to be a Trump supporter. Wrong text box again. I keep on doing that. Take a good look on the left side of your phone screen. We're going to be banning everybody that breaks our rules. We're going to be banning everyone that breaks our rules, guys. So don't break them unless you want to be banned. We got Alpha. What a name. We got Alpha loading up in. Yo, Volcano, thank you for the $25 on Super Chat, bro. Volcano with the $25. Says, hey, Dean, love the work. Do you have any idea how I could possibly convince my stepfather to turn his back on all of this? He is very deep, but in your opinion, what is the most effective way to do this stuff? Man, if he's very deep in, honestly, the most effective way to change his mind is to continue to have constant conversation with him over the course of months. That's the only way to try to change somebody's mind like that. It's not one conversation with one compelling point. It's multiple conversations with multiple compelling points over months and months and months. Thank you for the $25 and the great question, Volcano. Please, let's get 250 Volcano W's in that chat. Welcome in, quote unquote, Alpha. Do you support Trump?
I just have a question first.
I have a question. Okay, I won't ban because we're looking for debates. Moving on to Kai, guys. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be a Trump supporter. Selfie, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Thank you so much, my friend. Show some love to Selfie down below. All right. And maybe appreciate you for all the roses over on TikTok. That's very kind of you. Okay, we got Ariana loading up in. We got Max loading up in. We got Ariana, hello. Do you support Trump or are you banned? Banned. Oscar, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo saying you better play Farm Sim with that kid one day.
Oh my God.
He's been asking for like
Fuck
a year
niggers,
now.
fuck niggers, fuck niggers.
So we might eventually do that. Thank you for the $11, Oscar. Show some love to Oscar down below in that chat while we're still trying to look for that next Trump supporter to join the stream to have a conversation with. Once again, if you're enjoying this stream and you want to have and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok right there, and in the pin message over that YT stream. Appreciate you guys for all the love. You could even attach a message that I could read off on live. Hello, hello, hello. Do you support Trump?
Hello, Dean. So I used to be a Republican, and I want to explain why my mind changed. So basically,
So right now
Trump,
I just want to clarify. Right now we are just looking for Trump supporters, but if you want to give a quick explanation, like 2 sentences or less, feel free.
I do. I really do, because I used to be a huge Republican, huge Trump fan, and my mind has changed a lot recently due to what he's actually doing with illegal immigrants. He is abducting them and and he's selling them into foreign sex slavery to fund the Gaza genocide.
Okay, well, just out of curiosity, what's your evidence that he's selling them into foreign sex slavery? I feel like I feel like it's important to like when you make a claim like that, always come with evidence.
Of course. So pretty much every president has been doing this for a very long time. The worst of them was actually Obama. He would keep he would keep illegal immigrants in cages. This is proven.
Could you give
up.
evidence that Donald Trump is selling them into sex slavery?
Yes. So basically, you know how he was friends with Epstein, correct?
Yes. Betty Boop, thank you for the galaxy.
So he's been in this trade for a very long time. There are islands there's these auctions that high elitists go to, the top 1%, and they all gather and they use code words with islands, and they're actually for children. And
so none of this seems like evidence that Trump is selling undocumented immigrants into sex slavery. Just saying. So.
Yes. Okay. So I'm kind of getting into it.
So get into it, dude, please.
Okay. He with the recent Epstein files that have been released, there was a evidence that he literally raped a 13-year-old girl, and
Okay,
that
you're right, but like, what's the evidence that he's selling undocumented immigrants into sex slavery?
okay. It's just I just wanted to get the message out because it's hard.
Whoa. No. Let me make this one thing clear. Okay? I think it's good that you don't like Trump as president. Okay?
Yep.
But when getting the message out about the bad things he's done or the bad things he's doing, make sure that your message is accurate and there's supporting evidence for it. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because we don't want to dilute the true claims of the bad things that Trump has done insofar as what should inform people of why they shouldn't support him with conspiracy theories. Because not only are you then increasing the likelihood of a confused average American hearing all these bad things about Trump, then investigating one of them and finding no evidence whatsoever, then questioning are the other ones false as well, but you're also giving people on the right an upper hand to then turn around and say, look at the left, they're crazy. They make all these crazy fictitious claims about Trump with no evidence. They're conspiracy theorists. They have TDS. Take, for instance, this guy who's speaking to a crowd of 20,000 people on Dean Withers Live saying that Donald Trump was literally selling immigrants into sex slavery. No evidence whatsoever. All right. Well, then all of a sudden they could say, well, because one liberal said he was selling immigrants into sex slavery with no evidence, this must also mean that there's no evidence that he raped Eugene Carroll. This must also mean that there's no evidence that these immigrants are being beaten and tortured in CCOT. This must also mean that there's no evidence that he is involved with Epstein in relation to other claims, etc., so on and so forth. So you can't do it. It's very harmful to the progressive movement. It's very harmful to legitimately getting Trump out of office. It's incredibly harmful. Very bad. Very bad. He got a flag for misinfo, so I had to kick him. We've actually gotten 2 misinfo flags so far today, from 2 of our guests. So we gotta hit a restart for the safety of the live. If we don't hit a restart, well then we'll be fucked over. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna restart. I'm sure that there's a bunch of y'all in here that already know how we do the restarts. I'm gonna go and give a quick explanation to everyone that doesn't. Right now, if you want to come back, because we have another 2 hours on live. Actually, not really. I actually have to get off early today, so we don't quite have 2 hours, but we have an hour and a half. Anyways, hit that follow button right now, folks. Okay, if you want to find me on your following list in 5 seconds once we're restarting, good to go. But there's an even quicker way to come back. Once the live stream is ended, your phone's screen will say live has ended, and it will show you my profile picture. If you click on my profile picture, it'll send you to my account page. Once you're on my account page, if you count to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and swipe down on the account page to refresh it, you'll see a new red glowing live orb around my profile picture, and you could click into the new live stream. Fun fact, when we do these restarts, only around 50 through 65% of the viewership comes back. So that means maybe a good 50 through 35% of the people hearing my voice aren't going to come back. Maybe the reason why you don't want to come back is because you think the restart will take a couple minutes and you're going to move on and be doing something else by then. Just want to tell you all, the restarts take 5 seconds. Super duper quick. So I will hopefully see every single one of you guys in 5 seconds. Please come back. But after we do restart, it's just going to be an empty chair for like 30 seconds because I'm going to go use the bathroom. If you're on TikTok, you don't need to go. If you're on YouTube, you don't need to go anywhere. This is only a restart for TikTok. See you guys in 5 seconds. All right, hitting that restart. And we're already restarted. Okay, I'm going to go pee, guys. BRB. Yo, welcome back in, everybody tuning in on TikTok. Thank you for coming back after the restart. We already got 6.2 thousand of you guys tuned back in. Love it for everybody over on YouTube. Somebody in the chat just said, oh my God, the kidnapped Dean. Yes, I was kidnapped by the deep state. And then 18, I appreciate you for that, Galaxy. We're going to go ahead and hop back into the debates right now. Only join inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please. I'm actually going to go ahead and have to give the first guest of the restart a quick warning before we hop into a debate with him, because I feel like they are at a high likelihood of violating TOS. Hi, welcome in. Don't say anything quite yet. Let's first verify your age. How old are you?
I'm 35, sir.
All right, so your name is America First. Your bio says, ICE will find you and deport you. We must keep America great. Put Americans first. Let's touch on a few things. TikTok TOS. One tenet of TikTok TOS that I'm going to have you follow while you're on the live stream is their harassment and bullying guidelines. More specifically, what does that entail for you? No slurs. Okay? No, like, overtly demeaning terms. Try to not refer to undocumented immigrants as illegals and say that they deserve to be tortured, stuff like that. Another tenet that I think that you may hit is misinformation. Now, of course, I think a lot of what you believe in is misinfo, but what TikTok moderates for is all that's really important for this point, because I could push back against the other stuff on my own. This is just what TikTok will ban you for. The 2020 election, don't talk about that, okay? And I think that's all for now. Why do you support Trump as president?
Well, obviously, from my bio, you can tell the key border security accomplishments of this year, the dramatic reduction in crossings, right? Encounters fell by 93% in April of 2025, by March seeing the lowest monthly total in recorded history. Fewer than 7,200 by late of this year. Southwest border apprehensions averaged just 245 per day, which we've never seen that low. There's a massive increase in deportations since January 20th of this year. Over 2.5 million illegals have been. This includes approximately 622,000 formal deportations and 1.9 million self-deportations, right? So, that's border security at its finest. It's called total control. He's going for total control, right? The non-citizens that are here, they got to go. We know this. They're not allowed here, right? There's a pathway to citizenship. We know how to do it. We know there's a way to do it. You can say, oh, guess all you want, but it's a W, because we know Trump is securing this border. 245 crossings per day in the Southwest border? Like, that's not a W?
No.
Like, come on, bro. I know you're getting pushed by these facts, but it's okay. It's okay, little bro.
I don't think it's a W because of what has caused it.
What do you mean? Go look at the streets. The streets are cleaning up, little bro.
I'll make sure to tell you. I'll make sure to tell you what
There's
caused
no more
it.
graffiti. It's looking nice out there, man. America's looking beautiful. It's being safe again. Oh, we can go to, hold on. You want to go down a little bit more? Can we go to that Fetty Wap and the smug interdictions, right? How much is that? 54% compared to last year, right? Which was 78%, which was the total smug seizures by the CBP increased by nearly 10%, right? We're just blowing the smug boats out. Like he said, we're just going to unalive people. That's what we're going to do, okay? We're not doing it no more, Dean. You know,
so I just want to clarify, you're okay with the Trump administration committing war crimes, but you're not okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you're okay with Trump breaking international law, but you're not
100%.
okay with an
I'd rather
immigrant.
they do it with drones.
One moment.
Yeah, like
Can
Obama.
can I
Let's do
speak?
it with drones.
So you're okay with the Trump administration breaking international law, but you're not okay with an immigrant breaking a federal misdemeanor or victimless crime to make this country better.
No, I'm not.
So you're very picky choosy when you're pro law and order. So you don't mind when
cherry
you
pick, just
so,
like you.
Yeah, so
I
it seems
cherry
like
pick,
so
just
so
like
you're
you.
admitting to being a cherry picker. See, that's actually not the response
Just
that you
like-
think it is. Okay, because even if I was also a cherry picker and I was a hypocrite, guess what? The truthfulness of the contents of one's message are not determined by the character of the messenger, but rather by the independent justification and
start this
evidence that
ontological
would exist
bullshit.
for the premise.
Don't start.
So, in other words, you just admitted
your
to
own-
being a cherry picker, being a hypocrite, but then you attempted to justify your own hypocrisy by labeling me one as well. If you were right, this would just mean that we're both wrong. But you're wrong, because I'm not a hypocrite, meaning that it's just you. It is incredibly hypocritical
No,
to sit on my
you're
live and tell us that you don't care when the Trump administration breaks the IHL, International Humanitarian Law. You can't tell me that you don't care when the Trump administration breaks the Second Geneva Convention, specifically Article 12, that details it is a war crime to, kill any protected person. or defines a protected person as a shipwrecked, incapacitated enemy combatant. And you don't care when the Trump administration breaks Article 8 of the ICC, the International Criminal Court, by killing these people and committing a war crime. But then you do care about a hardworking mother or father coming into this country, committing a federal misdemeanor, then providing into this country, right, by working a job, paying taxes, and upbolstering our GDP growth. That's hypocrisy 101, sir.
No, I'm more concerned about our infrastructure and the policy shifts, right? The wall construction, the sanctuary city operations, asylum restrictions. Those are the three key things that I take from being the wall construction, the resumed construction of the border, and using all funds from the Obama bill, right? And previous allocations with hundreds of additional miles planned. That's the first thing. These sanctuary cities that are taking advantage, people from coming from as far as Ethiopia, right? Djibouti, Kenya, right? Somalia. We have all these people coming from the African Horn that do not need to be here. They're over 8,000 miles away. They don't deserve to be here. They don't share any land with us. Mexico does. We have Remain in Mexico, right? That's why we had all these good things going. And what happened? The last regime totally annihilated it, totally weaponized the FBI, the DOJ, right? Trying to come out using these protections. And no,
I can
of
prove
the
to you
EPA.
that they didn't weaponize the DOJ.
Oh, they absolutely did.
I
and they
could
are
prove
all
to you that they
detailed.
didn't. I'm going to prove to you in like less than 60
Jack
seconds
Smith,
that they didn't.
hold on. So Jack Smith isn't corrupt.
Yeah, Jack Smith isn't corrupt. Jack Smith is honestly one of my.
100% he is.
Jack
And
Smith
he's
is
your
one.
buddy, too.
Well, actually, I'm not buddies with him. I wish I could be because I love him and his work. I think that Jack Smith is a modern American patriot. I think he's a shining example of what a prosecutor should be. And honestly, I look up to Jack Smith, and I tell myself that I want to be more like him every single day. Quite frankly, I think that we all owe a huge amount of respect to Jack Smith. But we could talk about that later. What I first want to respond to is to dismantle and debunk your claim that the Biden-Harris administration weaponized their DOJ because of what the DOJ had under their administration that they didn't release. Okay? Epstein files. What did we learn in the last 10 months from him? Well, House Subcommittee released a letter that Trump sent to Epstein in 2003 for his 50th birthday, depicting the outline of a naked woman or girl with the statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret."
We're talking about the border. Why are you pivoting?
Because I'm trying to prove to you that the Biden-Harris administration didn't weaponize their DOJ, and this is a fundamental crux to my argument, but of course you won't understand how that plays into my counter-argument against your position unless you let me finish.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so we know that the DOJ had that letter Trump sent to Epstein. We also know that the DOJ had Epstein's email to Ghislaine Maxwell saying that, of course, Donald Trump knew about the girls. They had the FBI report saying that, a woman had reported to the FBI and the NYPD anonymously, or I guess not anonymously, but more confidentially, that in 1984 he had raped her. A similar FBI report to Lake Michigan, or like this seeming letter that seemingly Epstein sent to Larry Nassar, saying that Donald Trump shared their affiliation for young nubile girls, so on and so forth. So the DOJ had all of those things right under the Biden-Harris administration, right, and they obviously make Donald Trump look incredibly bad. And even during the election, after Ghislaine Maxwell's prosecution was over and those files were not actively involved in an ongoing investigation, still yet, Biden didn't encroach upon his principle of the DOJ operating as an independent entity to force them to release those files, to incriminate Trump and make him look bad, to reduce his probability of winning the election. Thereby, we know, okay, with certainty, against the best interests of the Biden-Harris administration, and honestly, against the best interests of America, like they should have released those files, so he lost the election, that they viewed the DOJ as an independent entity, uncompromisingly independent, and even at the extent of Donald Trump doing and saying all of those things, they still didn't interfere with the DOJ to have them released. So no, of course we know that the Biden-Harris administration did not weaponize the DOJ.
They did Operation Arctic Frost, right? So Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley released documents detailing a sweeping FBI investigation called Arctic Frost. And that probe literally targeted 92 Republican organizations and individuals, including Turning Point USA, the Republican National Convention, and the American First policy issue, it issued 197 subpoenas to 34 people and 163 businesses, requesting records from more than 400 Republican entities. Right? They analyzed phone data of over half a dozen Republican lawmakers, members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, which was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. They went under the Patriot Act, of course, but and on the Mar-a-Lago raid too. We can go there too. Back in
Wait.
December,
The Arctic Frost investigation was not
Yes.
was not like Biden weaponizing the DOJ. That was the DOJ doing their job.
It was a tenet.
No.
It was a tenet.
That was the DOJ doing their job. I support Operation Arctic Frost because it investigated Trump's fake electors scheme. Okay, and by the way, especially after Donald Trump admitted to this in front of Congress, it admitted to this in front
So
of
what about
SCOTUS that he
whistleblowers?
installed fake votes for himself in the 2020 election to try to RIG it. That yeah, of course that deserved investigation, and of course and ultimately when that investigation was transferred to Special Counsel Jack Smith's oversight in November of 2022, right, that he did a great job with leading that investigation and leading prosecution of Donald Trump for election obstruction. And the only DOJ, weaponization that took place in relation to the Arctic Frost investigation or Jack Smith's oversight of it was when Jack Smith was fired and that special counsel was dissolved. Therefore, the Arctic Frost investigation was dissolved when Donald Trump won the election, was inaugurated on January 21st, and then told all of these special prosecutors and all of these investigators that were investigating him trying to RIG the 2020 election to fuck off, and completely dissolved it, pushed him to the curb so that this tyrant wannabe dictator who tried to install himself for a second term and then admitted to it in Congress, by the way, right, could be our president again. And by the way, you're not going to want to talk to me about that. Because you can't talk to me about that because you know that I'm right. You can't deny that
They have
Donald
the
Trump
auto-pen presidency.
Auto-pen, there we go.
Auto-pen
Nice pivot, buddy.
And then, hold on.
Stick on
Hold on,
Operation
man.
Arctic Frost. You
James
wanted to talk
Comey-
about it so much, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, there was documents. There was 9 Republican senators between January 4th and January 7th of 2021.
No, stop reading
that
off of
were-
your note
that
cards.
were
I want you to
targeted.
respond to what I just said. Respond to me bringing up the fact that the Arctic Frost investigation was fucking based because it was an investigation into how Donald Trump tried to RIG 2020, which is absolutely true and something that Donald Trump has admitted to, by the way. His argument in court wasn't to deny that he tried to overturn it, but literally
reschedule
accepting that he
Schedule F.
tried to
We're rescheduling-
but rather accepted that he tried to overturn it, right? Because it was stolen from him in the first place. Operation Arctic Frost was based. Jack Smith is based. Donald Trump is a traitor that launched the largest attack on this democracy since the Civil War. And the only DOJ interference that we should all look at and condemn is when Donald Trump dissolved that special counsel and dissolved that investigation.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it was election interference. It was surveillance on Congress. The Federal Health Act investigation, right back in August, we had the OSC launched a formal probe into whether Smith violated the Hatch Act. which he
Election
fucking
interference? Are you talking about election interference in
Yes,
the 2020
he violated
election?
the fucking
Wait.
Hatch Act.
Are you saying election
He
interference?
violated the
Wait,
Hatch Act.
one moment. Are you saying election interference in the 2020 election?
Oh no.
Yeah,
not
because
that.
the
I'm talking
investigation
about-
was launched in 2022.
I'm talking about with Tom Cotton. I'm
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
it was a political hit job
Oh
designed
my
to influence the
God.
2024 election in the favor of
One
Biden
second.
Harris.
One second.
So this was
One
for
second.
Biden Harris.
Wait. Why do you follow some kid's account?
What?
Why do you follow some kid?
Those are actually my kids. 35 years old. I have my oldest is 15. I have a 15-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, and I have a 3-year-old. The 9-year-old has an account and the 15-year-old does, but the 9-year-old shouldn't have an account.
So, okay, your kids are fans of me?
Yeah, actually they are because my wife is a Democrat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I'm
They
gonna ask
hate Trump.
everyone. I'm gonna ask everyone all at once to. What's smart here? Do you have any other accounts? Here.
I do, but I don't think you'll find them. You won't find them.
How about this? I'm doing this for the safety of your child. If you wouldn't mind quickly leaving, unfollowing your child, and joining back, I'd really appreciate it. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
do that.
Yeah. Just go do that real quick because it's on your following list. Okay, and then we're just like talking about it on stream in front of like 11,000 people. Like I wanna try to keep your child's account like as private as possible. So, go unfollow your kid. Then you could come back. And we'll actually wait for you. In the meantime, we'll thank some people. Stephanie, thank you so much for the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat. Yo, thank you so much for the love, Stephanie. Let's get 500 Stephanie W's down below in that live chat. Thank you so much for your kindness. Stephanie with a $50 says, release the files unredacted. Absolutely. We all want to see the files and not what they pick and choose. We're being so ghastly. Oh, yeah, they broke federal law, defied Congress, and then with their first batch that they released, redacted 90% of the contents, including every syllable of every word of every line of the Epstein grand jury testimony. Release the files unredacted with redactions for the victims, minors, and pictures, so on and so forth, completely. Thank you for the $50, Stephanie. Show some love to Stephanie down below in that chat. Thank you for the galaxies as well over on TikTok, then on PayPal. Thank you so much, Georgette, for the $15. He says, may I have your Discord handle, please? Just join my Discord. The join code is my name. It's Dean, and you could shoot me a DM if that's what you're trying to do. Thank you for the $15, Georgette. Show some love to Georgette down below. And Brent, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Yo! Show some love to Brent down below in that comment section. Thank you. Thank you. With the $50, who says, you're the best. Love you, Dean. Love you too, Brent. Thank you for the $50. That is so kind of you. That is legitimately so much money. Show some love to Brent down below in that comment section. Thank you. Then Sophie, thank you for the $5. And Jack, thank you for the $5. We're all cut up over on PayPal, over on Venmo. Steven, thank you for the 50 as well. You guys are going crazy. And Grace, thank you for the 35. Oh my God. Yo, 500 W's. Let's get for Steven. Let's also get 350 W's for Grace. Steven with a 50 says, no need to read out loud. Okay, you got it. I will. How much would I have to, well, I'll read it out loud. How much would I have to pay for you to learn the correct use of fewer and less? How am I using them incorrectly, Steven? I don't have to pay anything for that. Just tell me how I'm using them incorrectly. Thank you for the $50. Grace with the $35 says, I don't know about FarmSyn, but if you ever want to make a map on Fortnite, let me know. Dude, should we get a Dean Withers Fortnite map based? Then Kathy, thank you for the $10, who says, for the first time I noticed Donald Trump is saying the funniest thing is in the Howard Stern video. Disgusting. Yeah, he thinks that him sexually exploiting the women and girls is funny. Margaret, thank you for the $25, who says, you're awesome. Thank you for all of your hard work. It is so much appreciated. Well, Margaret, thank you for the very kind message and the $25 you guys are being so kind today. Show some love to Margaret down below in that chat. Also, one last one here. Show some love to Brittany for the $20 in that chat, who says, you and vitamin D are what's getting me through this winter. You're grateful for all that you do, especially for people who don't always have a platform. Happy holidays. Well, happy holidays to yourself. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much, and show some love to Brittany and all the donors down below in that chat. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of y'all. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now at this point, we are just waiting for that other guy to come back. I'm going to keep an eye on the queue here. If he's in the chat, make sure to let me know. Right? This obviously isn't like refusing to have him back up. He's just simply not in the queue. And to just demonstrate my good faith nature, to demonstrate that I'm telling the truth, let me know in the chat if he's in the chat. Like if you're watching right now, just drop a comment. I'll invite you up and I'll show it to the stream too. So, I'm not running away. Just wanted him to unfollow that kid. A couple people in the chat are spamming he follows Kylie. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly weird, but Kylie is 21 years old. But I'd just be curious to ask him why he did that when he joins back up. And, Kylie's probably still listening. She could definitely block him too. It's a bit odd, but she is 21. She's not a minor. And, when it comes to like following lists, we really care about the guest following kids for the safety of those children. So, all right. Well, we don't see him in the queue. I think that there's a probability here that he is either no longer wanting to debate because of the points that I brought up and he was just reading off of fucking note cards, or because like maybe the queue is full and he just can't find his way back in. If it is the case that he's watching, is trying to join, but can't because the queue's full, sir, America First, just drop a comment in that chat and then the other people down there, let me know. What's up, do you support Trump?
I love you. You're so cute.
It's that same fucking kid, dude. How does he get up here so much? All right, moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. Please. How does that kid keep getting up here, bro? He gets up here like multiple times a day, too. Yo, thank you so much for the let's see here, $15. Brianna over on PayPal. That is AUBRIANNA, who says, I like how you call people out for not having evidence even when they're on your side. It's important for people to be honest and not spread misinformation. Dude, it is so important for people not to spread misinformation, even on your side, because then it discredits your side, man. You don't want that. Come on now. Moving on to the next guest, we're going to go to put the rules back up on screen. If you break our rules, you're going to get banned.
Oh my god, dude, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm not going to ban you because I haven't put the rules back up on screen yet. I appreciate you for your kindness. But now I'm going to start banning people. If you break the rules, you're going to get banned so quickly. I really wish that America First guy would come back. Hi, do you support Trump?
Oh, no, I do not. I
Banned. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of leeway too. I'm just going to send you back down to the comment section. Hey, do you support Trump? It's a kid. Actually banned. Yo, Atlas! Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Atlas with a $25 donation just drops a smiley face. Yo, thank you so much, man. Show some love to Atlas down below in that comment section, everyone. Show some love to Atlas down below in that comment section. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We fight for the gospel and honor his name.
Very good. Very good. Very good. You're making me very emotional. I can't wait. I'm going to get canceled again. I'm going to get canceled again. Okay, I can't make jokes about that. I'm going to get canceled again. Dude! Okay, when the AI slop came out and I started shitting on it, all of a sudden, like about 1 billion videos that have like 500,000 likes started popping up saying, Dean switched up. He's such a performative grifter. But dude, I just find the AI slop funny, okay? I still stand strong on my principle. I don't think that Kirk deserved it or anything. All right? But that doesn't mean that I can't find the AI slop funny. Okay, it is. Like, why the fuck are you calling yourself Charlie Kirk? Like, God, like, okay, that's not a switch up. It's not a switch up, chat. Okay, all right, but so many people think it is, so I gotta control my jokes.
Yep.
What's up, Harry? Age?
26.
Do you support Chop?
I do.
And okay, let me go and take the rules off the phone screen. Thank 3 people. I'll pass you the mic, and you can tell us why you support the worst president of your life here. First, Jeff, thank you for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you, Jeff. Show some love to Jeff down below. Holy cow, Jeff with the $20 says a huge reason that us Democrats lost this election is because we acted like super wussies and didn't let people's opinions get through. We aren't wrong, but it's a terrible tactic. I
agree with that.
I honestly, Jeff, I don't know if I would. I think the biggest reason why, like the biggest fault of the Democrats that made Kamala lose was Biden not stepping down sooner and not responding to the misinformation purported by Trump to do with his campaign.
So you think she would have won if you give her a few more months?
Yeah. First and foremost,
That's why she lost every swing state.
I just gotta ask.
Didn't even win.
Are you white?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate that I'm white. You see, guys, this is their culture. This is what they do. They're becoming ashamed to be white. And you know what? Under Trump, I ain't gonna lie. I swear to God, this is the first time in my life.
It's definitely.
I feel proud to be white again because
white pride.
Under the past 4 years.
I just want to clarify, like white pride.
Not white pride, but like
you said that
I don't gotta be
white.
ashamed. Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of who I am. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, so he is white pride and he likes to use the N-word. Why do you think it's okay for white people to use the N-word, dude? I'm looking at
the most populated word of all time, the most promoted word of all time, and you get shocked when people use it as a friendly sentence.
Yeah. How many?
Like I'm not calling people the hard R. I'm just saying in a sport term.
How many continents are there?
7.
What are they?
Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Antarctica.
I am incredibly impressed that you can name the 7 continents. All right.
I mean, we learned in elementary school, my boy. I mean, you did.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of Trump supporters didn't pay attention. In
I'm good with
elementary school.
geography. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and leave this one up to you guys. I mean, so should we kick him out for using the N-word in one of his videos, or should we try to change his mind and hopefully send him down a path to, you know, not do that in the future and to stop supporting Trump? It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. You know, democracy rules. Democracy rules. How about this? Because do we kick him out or do we cuck him? You know, we'll go ahead and just run a little poll. We'll run a poll. Quick poll. Go ahead and put a smiley face for kick. Sad face for keep and cook.
Respectfully, you're not cooking me.
Let's see. You know, a lot more people want me to keep and cook. Yeah. How about
You don't gotta say cook. You could just say
How
have a
about-
conversation.
Well, no, I cook people like you. I don't, you know. Let's, all right, we'll do something super quick. Really easy question. If Biden called for the execution of his political opponents, would any reasonable American stop supporting him as president?
Who did Trump want to execute?
Well, my question had nothing to do with Trump.
I mean, if I was Trump and personally, if I was in his shoes and the whole world wanted to not only cancel me, but put me in prison for the rest of my life for a really stupid case, I'd be pissed. I ain't gonna lie, I would be pissed.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Can you answer my question, please?
Yes, he shouldn't execute his opponents.
No. If Biden basically called for the execution of his political opponents, and then do you think any reasonable American would stop supporting him as president?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Trump basically called for the execution of his political opponents, any reasonable American would stop supporting him as president. 4 weeks ago, that's exactly what Trump did in response to 7 lawmakers in Congress who were Democrats that urged members of our military to not follow any unlawful orders that Trump may give them. He responded by calling them seditious, saying that their sedition was punishable by death, and reposted one of his followers' messages that said, "Hang them, George Washington would." So if you still support Trump after learning that he's basically called for the death of his political opponents, you, by your own view and principles, would be an unreasonable American.
I'm not saying you're lying, but could you show me where he said that?
Yeah, Truth Social, 4 weeks ago, man.
What was the exact wording?
The President of the United States... Look at the
You
screen.
need to know. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, "Democratic Veterans in Congress Urge Service Members to Refuse Unspecified Unlawful Orders," by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, "This is seditious behavior, punishable by death." And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, "Hang them, George Washington would." This is the...
Okay, that's irresponsible.
Okay, but you said any reasonable American would stop supporting him if he did this. So do you no longer support him?
I support him, but I support him for different reasons.
Oh, okay. So therefore, in accordance with your own principle, you're an unreasonable American.
No,
Yes,
that's not how it is.
yes.
Joe
I
Biden
asked you. I asked you
Joe,
very
excuse me.
clearly.
Hold
I
up,
asked
hold
you.
up,
I
hold
asked
up,
you
hold up,
very
hold up.
clearly. Would any reasonable American stop supporting Biden if he basically called for the execution of his political opponents? You said yes.
That's
Thereby, if Donald Trump basically called for the execution of his political opponents, any reasonable American would stop supporting him too. Under your view, you continue to
That's
support Trump
Biden.
after learning that he did that. Therefore, in accordance with your own view, you are an unreasonable American, which, by the way, totally makes sense. Considering the usage, your usage of slurs such as the N-word.
That was Joe Biden.
And I also want to take a moment to just like educate you and cook you on that too, because I don't want your rhetoric spreading. The reason why it's wrong, right, to use the N-word is because the N-word has been historically used to oppress, harm, and marginalize black people in this country. Okay, the system, all right, that concluded in black individuals being viewed as property, subhuman, killed, raped, murdered, and segregated, started with the rhetoric that we use. Specifically, the N-word was used by white people directed towards black people to strip them of their humanity and to refer to them as something lesser than, to promote the social acceptance of legislation to codify
Can I ask
that
you
into
something?
law, like slavery, like segregation, so on and so forth. And this obviously means that we shouldn't use it today because of the way that it has harmed people in the past and the way that it could continue to perpetuate the social norm to treat black
Bro, can I just
individuals
ask you something?
lesser than. And I first want to give you an analogy to prove that the argument rooted
Bro,
within
can
the
you let me
harm.
speak? Shit.
You can't listen for more than 5 words. You're like a toddler fucking watching Teletubby on the iPad. I want to give you an analogy to demonstrate that you shouldn't use it rooted within the harm in which it caused before. All right. And this is a good one. So imagine that you're shopping for an AR and you have 2 options. One AR is just clean off the manufacturer's press, never been used to kill anybody, do any harm nor damage. And then the second AR was literally used by the Columbine school shooter to kill people. You would obviously never want to buy, own, and use the AR that had been historically used to kill children, right? We'd probably just want to let it go forever, melt it down and forget about it, never use it again. Okay? Right? And the analogy here would be relevant in the sense that we see something similar to be true of the N-word. Historically, it's been used to, socially permiss and prelude to harm, marginalization, slavery, segregation, rape, and murder, so on and so forth, first starting with the linguistic dehumanization and devaluation of black people on the global stage and in America. So you just shouldn't use it today. So not only are you an unreasonable American per your own prescription because
you gotta let me
continue to
speak,
support
bro.
Trump as president after he called for the execution of his political opponents, but you are also in the wrong, okay, right, for using the N-word per the reasons that I just described.
Can you let me ask something finally? Okay.
I'd like you to respond to the arguments that I gave you, please.
Yeah, I will. The song Jingle Bells. Do you find that racist? If kids sing it today?
Like the jingle bells, jingle bells.
Yes. Is it? Would you consider it racist if a whole bunch of white kids sang it today?
Let me read the.
You don't answer my question directly, bro.
I mean, I should need. Let me make sure there's nothing hidden in the lyrics here. Jingle all the way, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow. No, I don't see anything racist about it. No, I don't think it'd be racist
you
to
know
say
that
it.
had racial roots. That had racial roots, and it was mocking black people back then. But we sing it today because it has a different meaning today, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So what I would argue is if every time a legislator in our Congress wanted to push for legislation to segregate black people, enslave black people, they first sung Jingle Bells. If every time a white slave owner wanted to grape an enslaved individual, they first sung Jingle Bells. Of every time, you know, a white man or lady saw a black person and then crossed the street, they
moving the
sung the
goalposts
fucking
here.
Jingle Bells. Then I would argue, right, that it would be wrong to sing Jingle Bells today. But I must ask you, could you share me, you know, the origination of the roots of Jingle Bells?
Yes, it was made to mock black people. They put blackface, and it was supposed to be a black person. When it goes, hey. I thought it was a lie, and I looked it up, and it actually does have racial roots, and it kind of upset me. But the thing is, you differentiate that from today. That was racist back then, but today the way we sing it, it's just a joyful Christmas song.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So the first thing that I see when looking it up had to do with with James Pierpont. Lived 1822 through 1893, the composer of Jingle Bells, and the first time it was performed was in an auditorium at the Ordway Hall in Boston in 1857 as a part of a blackface
People were saying I'm
minstrel
lying.
show. So so it seems like what you're telling us is right. Still yet the reasons why I'd argue that it's it's not racist to sing Jingle Bells today, but it is racist to use the N-word today would be rooted within the fact that the N-word was used to a societal extent over the course of multiple generations to uphold the system that led to the enslavement of black individuals, the murder of black individuals, the rape of black individuals, the segregation of black individuals. Jingle Bells was not. And secondly, today, there's not a consensus that exists amongst this marginalized community, black individuals, that singing Jingle Bells is racist. However, there is, right, for the most part, a consensus, right, that like using the N-word is racist. So I'd argue because of these facts that this is not a clear, symmetrical argument to the N-word. And per my last statement, which is still also true.
Why are you moving the goalpost?
I didn't move the goalpost.
Yeah, because that song has racial roots, and you're saying it's okay to sing it today. So it's just because something had racial roots does not mean it's bad safe or using it in a different meaning.
So I gave you the symmetry breakers between your argument as it would apply to jingle
But you're
bells
moving the goalpost.
and the N-well, and the N-word. So I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm simply exploring nuance. I'm sorry if you can't handle the nuance of not just the racial roots of the N-word, but the way that it propped up and upheld a system of oppression, marginalization, killing, death, slavery, and segregation for multiple generations, and the general consensus that exists amongst Black Americans today surrounding
So why is it
the
so
race,
promoted?
surrounding the racism and association to the N-word, and how those same things just simply aren't true as it would relate to the Jingle Bells song, even though the composer of Jingle Bells was racist and its first public airing involved.
It wasn't about the publisher
mocking
being
of
racist.
the mocking of Black individuals.
Exactly, it was mocking them.
So
but it's
because of
okay
those-
for us to sing it
So
today.
because of those differences, I'd argue that one is racist and the other isn't. Because of the
It
nuance
was
in which I
mocking
just
Black
added on.
people. The song was mocking Black people. It was made to mock Black people. But you said it's okay to
Can you
sing it
please
today.
respond to the nuance that I added on there?
So what do you mean with nuance?
Like the
'Cause
nuance that I added on that entails that one is racist and one isn't racist today.
So you're saying Dean is saying it's Jingle Bells is not racist to sing today, correct?
Yeah, correct. I am saying that.
Everyone clip that.
Oh yeah, go clip it and post it.
Because in 3 years, when
Dean
they
says
cancel that
something
song, you are
normal.
gonna be open up some Easter eggs, my boy.
Okay, so now do you want to respond to the argument that I gave you?
I mean, when something is used in a different meaning, and they're both very bad. One is
Listen, I'll just give you like another like a good symmetry breaker. One is overtly racist in its content. The other's not overtly racist in its content.
How's Jingle Bells not racist?
And its content?
Yes, in this content.
Yeah, jingle bells, jingle
Wait,
all
okay,
the way.
You're
right?
singing it.
Right. That's
when
so
they,
sorry.
when they played
so
it, when they played it,
I'll
it was
say it.
blackface.
So
When they
I'll
played
say it. I'll make sure not to sing it. I'll say it. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle
I'm not
all the
talking
way.
about the fucking lyrics.
Oh, what? Well, that's the fucking content. That's the fucking content. And yes, I understand. I understand that you continue to repeat that the person that made the Jingle Bell song was racist.
No. That's
and
not
the
my
first,
argument. That's not
and
my argument.
no, you're
That's
cutting
not
me
my
off.
fucking
And
argument,
the
my
first
boy.
public airing of the Jingle Bell song included somebody in blackface. Okay, right? This doesn't mean that the overt contents of the song are inherently anti-black and racist.
It literally
but they
is,
were,
though.
Okay, so which line?
They were mocking Black people,
They,
and
they-
then
they were
hey,
using the contents of the song to mock
Wait,
black
hold
people.
on, bro.
So, but like that doesn't mean that the contents of the song are inherently racist. Okay, we see this. Well, just let me speak here for a second. We see this happen all the time. Okay, where racist people will take something that isn't inherently racist and make it racist. Okay, a really good example is crime rates. That's a great fucking example. Crime rates are not inherently racist, okay? Tracking the amount of individuals that commit crimes are not inherently racist. But then white supremacists will make it racist by turning around A, misrepresenting crime rates, B, not accounting for exonerations, C, creating generalizations to then D, target, persecute, and oppress black people with racist dog whistles.
You are amazing at changing the subject. My point was with Jingle Bells, it was made to mock Black people. The whole song was made to mock Black people. It was made a Black person with no hope and slay, the way they laugh, hey, hey, hey. It was, and they put blackface when they performed it. That song was made to harm Black people. And you're saying it's okay to sing it because why?
Yeah, I
You're
don't
saying
even
the
think that's
definition of Sorry?
So you haven't listened to a single word that I've said, nor have you responded to the
You
context
changed
of
it
any
to-
point that I've made. You've only continued to repeat yourself. So at this point, right, I'm
You're
going to ask
changing
you
it
to
to
please
crime
respond
rates.
to the specific points in which I made. And I could actually go over those points for you if you'd like, just to make sure that the water isn't muddied. So the first,
Okay, go ahead then.
Yeah, so the first specific point that I made is that the contents of the N-word are overtly and explicitly racist. The contents of the Jingle Bell song are not overtly and expressly racist. The second point in which I made is that the N-word has been historically used to prop up a system of dehumanization that helped in the creation of that system, then the continuation of that system by continuing to demonize and dehumanize black individuals, leading to slavery, leading to segregation, leading to murder, leading to rape, leading to exclusion historically and today. And then the third difference is that there's a consensus amongst that marginalized community who is the victim of this historical impact, right, that deems the use of the N-word as racist, that does not deem the present day use of the Jingle Bells song as racist. But what I would like to say here, right, is back to my first point, the contents of one thing being overtly racist without the contents of the other thing being overtly racist, but being used in a racist demeanor by the person that made the song, displaying it as a mockery of black individuals with the use of blackface. If somebody were to display Jingle Bells in that same way today, do performance of blackface, using particular lines of the song to mock black people, then it would be racist, right? 110%, okay? Because the contents of it are not overtly racist, okay? Yet the contents of the N-word are.
Okay, well, you just proved my point. You just said the way it would be performed today, it depends on how their demeanor is.
Due to the fact that
And
the contents aren't overtly racist, yet the contents of the N-word are overtly racist.
wait. Is the demeanor on which I say the N-word is different. When it's the most promoted word in every rap song.
The reason why that argument doesn't work is because I think that like a white individual using the N-word is overtly racist because of where that word comes from, the way it has been used.
Okay, but how about where the song comes from? How about where the song comes from?
In the way in which the community would perceive it.
How about where the song comes from?
Okay, in combination of all those facts, okay, the set of facts in which I'm using to describe the use of the N-word as overtly racist is not true of the Jingle Bells song. Okay, right? So like I've already ran this like thought experiment on you, right? Let's just take Jingle Bells. If the phrase Jingle Bells was used identically to the way that the N-word has been used historically, used to propagate that system, used to exploit, used to enslave, used to grape, used to perpetuate the system, and was still used by individuals like that in that demeanor today, okay, then it absolutely would be overtly racist, and it absolutely
and I'm
would
using
be
the word
wrong
different
to sing that
today.
song. Okay. However, because those facts are not true of Jingle Bells and are true of the N-word, your argument just simply doesn't follow.
You said the use of it. I'm saying, yes, the use of it is different today. Therefore, you can't say, yes, either both of them are wrong or none of them are wrong.
I reject that for the reasons that I've given. You continue to result back to saying, well, oh, it's the way that I use the N-word today. However, I've already described why I disagree with you, rooted in the fact that I deem the N-word as overtly racist.
So why is it so promoted?
Due to the fact that the use of the N-word is overtly racist, per the prescription of the reasons that I gave you.
So why is it so promoted?
And now you're saying why it's so promoted. So what you're trying to do now is to widen the scope of conversation and muddy the waters to shift blame from yourself for using it. Okay, right? If
it was so bad,
if you could agree that it's wrong for you to use the N-word, then I will happily explore a conversation with you about the promotion of the use of the N-word. Okay, but before we explore a conversation about the promotion of the use of the N-word, you first have to be able to concede that it's wrong for you to use it. And quite frankly, I don't know why you were fighting for your life to say it. Like, oh my God, it is so important for you to be able to use the N-word, right? I feel like at the base level, you should just be able to hold yourself to a higher standard, acknowledge the way that it's been used and the way that people still use it, and the way that the people that it's used against, and the way that the people that it's used against perceive its usage, and just stop using it. But I'm going to this is your last opportunity now to directly respond to the arguments that I provided insofar as what the differences are between the use of the N-word and Jingle Bells. If you cannot subsequently directly respond to the arguments that I provided, I'm going to kick you and move on.
The difference is, I mean, you could look at both of them. They both have historical roots.
I've already repeated that, and I've already responded.
I see your point, trying to say, okay, but that word in particular is bad. All right, that had historical context. But they're both two different versions of what it was back then. And when it's the most promoted word in the English language, when it's promoted in every rap song, everyone says it. You know, if everyone's wearing white t-shirts, don't get surprised when I want to copy and want to wear one. I'm not saying I want to say it, but I'm saying I can.
Okay, so in other words, you're not going to respond to my arguments?
I just fucking responded, Dean.
No, you didn't. Your response was, oh, they both came from the same root. So I've already addressed that with an argument that I haven't heard a response to. The argument was, although the person that created the Jingle Bells song was racist, and the first time it was performed was
wasn't.
to mock black people, and the N-word also has racist origins, the specific differences are things that have already been listed, right? Such as the fact that the N-word was used to linguistically propagate the system of oppression directed towards black individuals historically and today by demonizing and dehumanizing them, which then led to the consequent material harm. It's not just about the intention, it's also about the harm, okay? It's also about the harm, right? The harm of propagating the system of dehumanization through slavery, exploitation, through murder and rape, segregation. So I'm like trying to like give you this argument and like for the fifth time, and you're now not even listening to the argument because you want to interrupt me every.
You want me to
single
disagree
time.
with you?
No, I just want you to listen. I want you to listen, and if you disagree, then respond.
Okay, I'm trying to see your point, but
you're not trying to see my point because you just interrupted me 3 times.
You're too loyal to your side.
You're too loyal to idiocracy because the moment somebody like me challenges it, you blabber like a fucking grown child, interrupt them every 3 seconds to cut them off from providing the argument that they've already given to you 3 times because you're scared of responding to it because you can't respond to it. You are embarrassing. You are embarrassing yourself right now because I've asked you on 4 explicit and different occasions in the last 10 minutes to specifically address the argument that I gave you insofar as why I believe that it is wrong for you to say the N-word, but it's not wrong to sing Jingle Bells. And the first 3 times I gave you the argument, you ignored it completely and then responded with a separate question like, popular word, oh, why is it wrong when I use it? Or you've responded by repeating the
that wasn't
original
my
argument.
reasoning.
They both come from racist roots. And then the 4th time when I was like, hey man, respond to the argument or I'm going to kick you, you then said that you did respond to the argument when you just repeated your original position that the argument was in response to. And then once I started repeating the argument, you then interrupted me 4 times in less than 10 seconds.
No, I didn't.
So which one is it? Are you going to respond to the argument or are you not going to respond to the argument because either you don't know it because you weren't listening because then rather you were interrupting, or you're too scared to respond to the argument because there's not a response because I'm right and you're wrong? Which one is it?
I'm not scared of you. It's just the thing is you want me to say, okay, yeah, Jingle Bells is okay and the other is not. But my thing is it's either both of them are bad or... I mean, yeah, you both of them have historical context, and you're just trying to say, oh, just the song, just the lyrics and songs.
Yeah, there it goes. So what he did there was what he did the last 4 times, where he just repeated his original argument. You said either both of them are bad or neither of them are bad, and then Dean's like, here's a really sensible argument why that's not true, and this is an equivocation for reasons X, Y, and Z. And then Guess is like, well, actually, the N-word's popular. And Dean's like, well, you're actually not addressing the 4 reasons I gave you insofar as why these 2 things are different. And then he's like, well, either both of them are bad or none of them are bad. Then Dean's like, hey, that's the argument that I gave a response to that I want to be addressed. And he's like, I addressed it. And then Dean's like, no. Repeating the original argument that my counter position addressed is not addressing the counter argument. It's repeating the original position. And then Dean's like, last chance. And then I gave him 3 more chances.
Dean's like,
well, everyone in the chat was spamming move on.
I gave him 3 more chances.
And then he just finally did it again. So, I mean, hey, how about this? I hope that this proves, all right, that that's like an indefensible topic, okay? Because you couldn't defend it. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Kelly?
Dean, I love you. Dean, my go.
Okay. Back to the debates now. Only op inside of the queue of Yappa to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. We got Trump MAGA King loading up into the box. What the fuck? Hey, Anna, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. Show some love to Anna, as well as Sarah with the $10 who says, W. Dean Fetus Stalker cracks me up when I need it the most. Oh, yeah, you're talking about that donation was from 26 minutes ago. I remember the little dude that you're responding to. Thank you for the love, Sarah and Anna. And then Ash, thank you so much for this $7 over on PayPal. Who says, long time watch and first time donor. I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Ash. And then May, thank you for the $5 who says you're truly an inspiration to me. Oh, thank you, May. And then Kelly, thank you for the $10 who said actually the lyrics for Jingle Bells was changed because they were originally racist. Oh, so in other words, right, it is wrong to use the original lyrics because they were racist. Thank you for the $10, Kelly. And then Nicholas, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Yo, let's get 500 Nicholas W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Nicholas, who says, bro hates Jingle Bells, buddy's the Grinch. Yo, dude, got the Grinch on the live. I'm guessing you came in like midway through in like context, but appreciate you for the $50, Nicholas. Show some love to Nick down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Ben, for the $15 as well. Thank you so much, man. And then Zach, thank you for the $35 over on Venmo. Holy shit. Thank you, man. Zach with a $35 says, just be wrong and don't use the N-word. Jesus fucking Christ. Absolutely insufferable. Yeah, no, the white boys, they'll fight to the death in defense of the use of the N-word. Thank you for the $35, Zach. Let's get 350 Zach W's. Then Allison with the $10 who says, just tell him you won't sing Jingle Bells. Will he stop using the N-word? Honestly, that would have been a good question to ask. Then Sean, thank you for the $15 on Venmo, says, so even if Jingle Bells is bad, that doesn't make the N-word good? Another good point. Like engaging in his logic, okay, let's assume that Jingle Bells is racist. This just means that it's also racist to use the N-word. Thank you so much for the $15, Sean. Then Jared, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, who says, I'm so glad we have somebody like you on our side. Thank you. Well, thank you for the $10, man. Suzanne, thank you for the 5. Victoria, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. Show some love to Victoria, who says, let's see here. Fewer refers to discrete objects like people or eggs. Less refers to time or money. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the $15, Victoria. Welcome in, Trump MAGA King. Do you support Trump?
I'm a Democrat, but you need to stop spreading false.
Banned. Let's go to put the rules back up on screen. Rules to join: be 18 plus, be American, be MAGA. If you break the rules, you're going to be automatically banned from the live forever. Hello, do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you, Woody?
19.
19. What time is it, Woody?
Pardon?
What time is it? Woody? Left. All right. Yo, BP, thank you for the $35 over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you for that love, BP, who says this guy's wrong. Jingle Bells was not written for minstrels and blackface.
Shut up.
Instead,
Oh, Dean, I'm jorking it.
one second, add a ban. Instead, it was taken and used for that. That's not how it was intended to be used. He's just flat out wrong. Yeah, well, I mean, that would have been nice to see earlier. Obviously, I don't know everything about everything. And I'm not too familiar with the specific historicity of Jingle Bells. But thank you for the $35. I appreciate you for the love. By the way, if you're watching and you want to support me, support the stream, and support what we do here, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message on that YT stream at the top of the phone screen right there. Hello. Okay, Trump supporter, bad at piano. Shocker. Moving on to the next guest. We got Colleen loading up in right now. Follow our rules, please. Be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump is president. I'd really appreciate that. Hello, Colleen. Do you support Trump?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, you have a great rest of your day, Colleen. We are just looking for people that do, so you do take care. You do take care. Moving on to the next guest. Follow our rules or get banned, quite frankly. Or get banned. I don't want to have to ban you, but I will. Certainly will. Hello, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Age, please, Nicholas.
18. 2007, October.
What time
3rd.
is it? And what time is it for you, Nick?
Right now, it's 5.
What state are you in?
Yo, I love you, Dean. By the way, keep doing what you do, man.
I appreciate you for the love, good vibes. What state are you in, Nicholas?
I don't live in the States right now, but I live in Europe. I'm like American European, if that's okay.
Then you wouldn't have lied to us about the time. Hello, Daddy Trump. What a name.
Hello.
Age?
First of all, I would like to say dinosaurs are fucking cool.
Okay, definitely a small child. Stop breaking our rules! Stop breaking them. Just don't do it, dude. Come on. Come on, guys. And as I say that, you guys still don't follow. Like, I'm looking at somebody in the queue right now. Their bio says single, fucking 13 years old. Brother, get out of the queue. Are you the fetus? Hello? Peter? is not here, so banned. Thought that might have been the fetus. All right, I'm getting real tired out here, just trying to get some debates. Because our fetus is filled with, like, children. Just trolling, dude. Just, like, come on. Hello, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. My name is Gilbert Epstein.
Okay, banned. Moving on to the next guest. We got Cool Guy 124 loaded up. And yo, Sebastian, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. He says, have you seen the new Avatar movie? No, not yet. Me and my girlfriend are waiting for it to come out, like, at home.
Yo, what's up, Dean?
Hi, how old are you?
I literally just turned 18 the other day.
What's your birthday?
I don't know. I lied to you. I'm sorry.
Banned. Cool Guy is not here. Cool. Moving on to the next guest right now. Hello, Cold Rap Star. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, for sure. How old are you?
I'm 23.
And what time is it?
It is 2 p.m. It's California.
It's 3:28 p.m. in California. Good day, sir. Moving on to the next guest. We got Dim loading up into the box. So annoying. Just follow the rules. Hello, do you support Trump?
Okay, first, I want to say, I just wanted to say, I want to start a friendly debate with you. I don't live in the States, but I heard about what's going on in the States, and can you confirm it's that bad?
It's really bad, but man, we're just looking for Trump supporters from America. We're going to go throw the rules back up on screen. Everyone who breaks the rules will be automatically banned, no exceptions, and no circumstances. Hey, Andrew, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Appreciate that, bro. Andrew with the $25 says, Dean, I've been watching your podcast and just wanted to say thank you. I've never been more interested or appreciative of what you do. Wishing you nothing but success, and I will always be rooting for you. Andrew, you're the fucking goat. Thank you so much for the $25, my friend. Please, for everybody watching at home, show some love to Andrew down below in that chat. I'd also like to thank Danielle for the $20, who says, have you successfully changed any of your family members' minds? Yes, a couple family members. Not the parents, but, a couple other ones. Thank you for the $20, Danielle, as well as Atlas with another $25. Dude, Atlas coming in again. You've been showing so much love literally all day, bro. Atlas, thank you for the $25. Show some love to Andrew in that chat for the 25, Danielle with a 20, and then Atlas with another 25, on top of Caitlin for the $10. She says, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Yeah, honestly, my Christmas was pretty good. What about you? But we're going to move on to the next guest now. Follow the rules or be fucking banned. All right, next guest named Tyler's loading up in. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah. Hello, how are you?
Doing all right. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Age right now.
20, May 8th, 2005.
20 years old, May 8th, 2005. Okay, and you're a big Charlie Kirk guy?
Yes, I am.
So freedom of speech is really important to you?
Yep.
Okay.
So I was wondering if we could talk about the
why do you support
Epstein
Trump
files?
as president? Yeah, of course we can. Why do you support Trump as president considering his attack on freedom of speech? Like the whole it's illegal to criticize me in the media, literally saying that like Stephen Colbert should be put to sleep, getting Jimmy Kimmel kicked off for a little bit via threats from the FCC, calling for the execution of Democrats in Congress for exercising their freedom of speech by telling members of our military to disobey any unlawful orders that he makes. Like, he's like arguably the largest attack on our right to freedom of speech in modern American history.
Yeah, so I don't think that Trump is a criminal. I think that Epstein is defending him.
Wow, you're gonna ignore.
I don't think that Epstein did anything wrong. I actually think it was good, positive.
It's a positive to grape kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, is your real name Tyler McConnell?
Yes, Tyler McConnell.
Yeah, what state are you from?
2005, Washington State.
Where in Washington?
Really?
What's up?
Spokane area.
Spokane area. What's your favorite restaurant in the Spokane area?
Just this this place, the bar that my
what's it called?
Family owns.
What's it called?
It's called Hub Bar.
What is it?
In Spokane, Hub Bar.
Hub Bar. Well,
Yeah,
let's
so
first make
I
sure that
think-
you're not just like dishing
yeah.
out like
Yeah, of
random
course.
information here.
I don't think that.
So what's
Trump,
your so in less than 5 seconds, what is one thing
Yeah.
on Hub Bar's menu?
Vodka.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's giving all fake information. You know, he's giving all fake information. Moving on to the next guest here. Only op instead of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Yeah. So MAGA is, I guess, pro-child rape now? Moving on. Moving on. Hello, do you support Trump? Somebody in the comment section said, stop being so fine. Well, I mean, I understand that I didn't have like a strong emotional reaction to what he said. That's because I found it to be more advantageous to investigate him to see if I could find any identifying information of who he is so we could report him to relevant authorities is a little bit of a flag. I try my best to do that, right? I try my best to do that because I view it as more of like a overriding concern for like the children in his life, if it's something that he thinks. So it's oh, you meant another. Okay. Never mind. Moving on to our next guest, Melissa. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Yeah, sorry. Hi, do you support Trump?
I do.
And how old are you, Melissa?
32.
Okay, you're obviously trolling. Guys, we only have like 30 minutes left on the stream. Could you guys just stop trolling for the last 30 minutes? Can we just like come to an agreement? Like you guys have had the last 3 hours to troll. Is it okay if I just have like 30 minutes just for debates? Okay, somebody in the chat named MAGA Penis Meatball Launcher 83 really wants to come up for... Dude. No MAGA Penis Meatball Launcher. I don't think that you're I'm good. I'll pass. I'll pass on that today. Thank you, though. Thank you, though, MAGA Penis Meatball Launcher. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Moving on to the next guest. We got MAGA Warrior. Guys, just please stop trolling. Just for today. Oh, wait. This is a troll. MAGA, this is a fetus. It's fucking... Yeah.
It's the farm.
Yeah. Just... Okay. Farm Sid Kid, please stop trolling for the rest of the day. I want debates. I do. I just... Come on.
I love you!
Okay, I appreciate you, but please stop it just for the rest of the day. It's been 3 hours you guys have had to troll. All I want is like a little bit worth of debates. American Advocate, you said invite me. It looks like you... Oh, you have to unprivate your account, American Advocate. American Advocate, go unprivate your account, then type invite me in the chat, and you should be able to hop in the queue. I'll have you up, American Advocate. I'll do that right now. Hello, Helen. Do you support Trump?
Parker, I love you. Dean, I love you. Parker.
Guys. Only join the queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president that wants to debate. Please. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. It says, watch the new Dracula next year. It's a romance. Ooh. As long as you watch the new Frankenstein. You guys should all go watch Del Toro's Frankenstein, best movie of 2025. Brianna, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. It says, I hope you had a good Christmas, Dean. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I liked it. Thank you for the $25, Brianna. Show some love to Brianna down below in that chat. Then Melanie, thank you for the $20 on Venmo, who says, I always cook my MAGA brother-in-law on abortion and trans rights. But using your economy points is what finally made him question Trump. Oh, fuck yeah, Mulaney. I think that's awesome. I'm proud of you. You shouldn't be sending me $20. I should be sending you $20 for changing your brother's mind. I think that's awesome. Thank you for the $20, Melanie. And then Jennifer, thank you for the $10. She says, I watch you every day and appreciate all that you do. You have a lot of patience to deal with these jackasses on a daily basis. I try my best. Thank you. And then Sullivan, thank you for the $20 as well, who says, keep it up, Dean. I'd pay money to watch you debate Caitlin Bennett. Yeah, I would love to debate Caitlyn Bennett. In fact, I've DM'd her and called her out on Twitter. No response. But thank you for the love, Sullivan. That is SYVSILVAIN. Show some love to Sullivan in that chat for the 20. Then Eric, thank you for the $5. Katie, thank you so much for the $20. Who says confronting and dismantling systemic racism in our history is rough. Discernment is nuanced. That guy was an idiot. Thank you for the love, Katie. That is CATIE. Seriously, thank you so much for the $20. Show some love to Katie down below in that comment section. And then Richard with the $5 says, what color drawers you got on? Richard. Request a refund, please. And then another Jessica. Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, who says, I'm so sorry about all the trolls today. Love you and watch you every day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, I hope you had a Merry Christmas yourself, and I hope that you enjoy the new year. Thank you for being here. And I really appreciate you so much for the $25. Please show some love to Jessica down below in that chat, ladies and gentlemen. Fox, show some love to all of our donors. In fact, if you want to be a donor, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio and TikTok. I get 100% of all those proceeds. They all go straight to me. You could even attach a message and I could read it out on live, unlike the 30% that I get of the donations on TikTok and YouTube Super Chats. Welcome in.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, so I talked to you a little bit on Santana's live.
Yeah, from earlier.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a crazy one. So remember when you joined up and said that we have you, oh, Jordan, thank you for the $500 request on Venmo that says you fucking suck cock. Very nice, Jordan. Did you mean to like send me $500 to ask me if I could suck yours? Maybe it was a misclick, but yeah, I'm not in that game. We just do political debates. You do take care. And I'm happy that you didn't accidentally send it and that you accidentally requested it instead of sending it, because it gave me the opportunity to clarify for you. Okay. All right. So, America, why do you support Trump?
Well, because, the Democrats, this became, incredibly left. They became very radical. I'm a former Democrat. I'm a neoliberal, and I just can't support them anymore.
I think that like you're just LARPing. Oh, I'm a former Democrat. Then they became too radical. No, you just support Trump and you're LARPing. You were never a Democrat.
Well, I used to be registered actually as a Democrat.
Yeah. So what did it for you specifically?
Well, I just all these like silly gender, identity politics.
Silly gender. The only people that play gender identity politics are those on the right. Like, seriously, the right plays gender identity politics. So not only in spending billions and billions of dollars on like anti-trans targeted ads when trans people account for 1% of our population and are not harmful to anybody, all right? Shifting the focus away from affordability or what can we do to make the life of the average American better compared to what can we do to make the lives of trans individuals worse because of their gender identity, literally amounting to gender identity politics. But then the right also upholds like traditionalism to a greater extent, which is also gender identity politics because it tells you what you should do predicated on what your gender is, like telling the man that they should lead, work, protect, provide, the woman should stay at home, cook, clean, raise the kids. That is legitimately gender identity politics. So the right is very pro gender identity politics. It's a lot of what they do. I mean, Donald Trump played gender identity politics in his, Merry Christmas post when he was like, oh, we stopped the trans for everyone. Gender identity politics, using gender to try to get a leg ahead inside of politics.
Well, I actually believe it's, those on the left, the Democrats who, began it in the first place.
How so?
Well, because, they always emphasize, putting like, like people by race and not by qualifications,
How so?
Well, I mean, there's many ways, like colleges, DEI is supposed to be like balancing everything out, but it's created a lot of
DEI?
biases and that.
Could you give me an example of DEI that Trump has ended?
Well, I mean, he's ending it, to bring back fairness.
Well, like what DEI has he ended in the last 10 months?
Well, I think he ended something, in regards to affirmative action.
Galaxy. No, affirmative action was ended under Biden, actually, by SCOTUS. And I asked you, what's an example of something to do with DEI that he's ended in the last 10 months? Not to mention that that's not DEI, it's affirmative action. So what has he ended?
Yeah, so I think he actually ended in the workplace, like unfair hiring practices.
Okay, thank you for the Galaxy. And how did he do this? And what did he do, like specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it was months ago, but I'm pretty sure it was like through an executive order.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's for an executive order.
Okay, an executive order that ended unfair DEI practices in the American workplace. Would you be shocked if I told you that that's not true?
Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked.
Okay, well, that's not true.
Yes, it's not true. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Prove me wrong.
Well, yeah. I'll prove you wrong. Because
Yeah, it's pretty easy to
speaking,
prove wrong by naming the executive order, right?
Well, I mean, it's somewhere. I mean, he signed so many executive orders. I've
Well, it
lost
should be
track.
pretty easy. You just need to type in DEI executive order. What you will find is a executive order repealing one registered and signed into law by Biden that just simply like directed federal agencies to ensure that they're like not racially discriminating against people that they're hiring or firing, sorry, or not hiring more so. And that's all it is. It's basically just saying, hey, let's make sure that you're putting an extra emphasis on ensuring that, when hiring people into this agency, you're not specifically like ignoring a qualified black individual just because they're black. Like that's all it was. And that was a good executive order. We should be focused on that. We should be sensitive to that because guess what? It happens. And that just increases the socioeconomic gap that we observe between white Americans and black Americans onset by slavery, systemic racism, and its aftermath, which is incredibly harmful, not just towards black Americans, but to the country as a whole. And not only is that not unfair, that's what fairness looks like, ensuring that there's no racial prejudices within the hiring practices of our federal agencies. And that's the only executive order that Trump has signed into law on the issue. DEI doesn't give an unfair advantage to people because of their race, but rather ensures that there's not an unfair advantage given to white people because of their race due to racial biases within hiring practices.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, the DEI. I mean, you're telling me about like in colleges and workplaces where someone can be qualified, but they don't get in based on the race. That seems pretty unfair to me.
Well, now it seems like you're trying to strawman my argument because I asked you for the executive order that Trump signed into law in the last 10 months that ended unfair DEI practices within the workforce. I told you he's never done as such. I then gave you the one executive order that he did sign into law and why it was actually harmful and why the previous executive order written by Biden that his executive order repealed was actually more beneficial towards racial fairness in the workforce. And then your response was to ignore that EO, to ignore my explanation, and then just to go start talking about colleges. So could you specifically address my response to your point about Donald Trump's EO that, if anything, only introduced more racial biases within hiring practices by striking down a Biden era EO to attempt to eliminate them?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, the order he signed, it was his first day back in office, and it was actually meant to end illegal and immoral discrimination programs.
Yeah, how so? I mean, what specific provision of the EO?
Well, I mean, it was supposed to, not let DEI just, be the deciding force, hiring.
But I need you to be more specific. What specifically did it end? Read me the executive order. What part of Trump's executive order, right, is super beneficial and fights against unfair hiring practices? Tell me, what part? Pull it up. You got a computer in front of you. You're reading off of ChatGPT as we speak. You said, ChatGPT, how did Trump and DEI to eliminate unfair? So read off the specific provisions of the EO that were super beneficial.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was supposed to...
Not what it was supposed to do. I want the text of the EO that you think was beneficial to terminate unfair hiring practices.
Well, I mean, it's there's too many sections. It's too long.
It's actually not that long of an EO, no. It wasn't even too long ago when we read through it on stream. So, no, you're wrong.
Well, it was just monitor and, track, all these agencies to make sure, we're not abusing, the DEI initiative.
No, that's not true. So Trump's EO didn't monitor or track any agency. Trump's EO just repealed a Biden EO. So you're wrong. I don't know why you'd lie.
Well, the thing is, it was already detected before Biden signed the unfair order. Whenever he made
and
it.
What specifically about Biden's EO was unfair?
Well, I mean, it just completely shifted the hiring opportunities for people, and it didn't really
How so?
matter based on qualifications.
How so?
Well, because you had to meet a certain quota of like
Oh,
race.
so that's not true. What part of Biden's EO like specified quotas?
Well, I mean it's definitely somewhere in there. I read it before.
Nope. If you actually go to Biden's EO in the Federal Register, you just have to type in advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities. The first link will be January 25th, 2021 from the Federal Register, just showing the EO. I mean, if you just Control F quota, you don't find anything. It's actually the sound of my computer not finding anything.
Well, I mean, it's definitely somewhere in there. It's just
Where? Where is it?
They often hide
Where
a
is
lot of
it?
stuff.
Where is it? So it's only
It's hidden
11
in there.
sections. It's only 11 sections long, and then each section is like at max like 2 paragraphs. So which section? Section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, section 11. Which one?
I believe it's section 11.
Oh, section 11. Okay. So section 11 says, nothing in this order shall be constructed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency, the functions of the Director of Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. And C, independent agencies are strongly encouraged to comply with the provisions in this order. D, this order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedurable, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employments, or agents, or any other person. End of section 11. Nowhere in section 11 did we read anything about racial quotas for these federal agencies. You just literally bullshit us. You bullshit us so hard. You got caught, you got trapped, so then you just guessed a section and hoped that you were right, and your gamble failed.
Well, ultimately, I think there's a lot of stuff hidden in terms of these documents. A provision that some was definitely
No,
added.
nothing about executive orders are hidden.
There's something was added in there as a provision.
No, you can't amend executive orders. You could repeal them and replace them with new ones, but you can't amend them.
Yeah, I'm not so quite sure about that.
Oh, so it seems like you're not quite sure about your position insofar as why Donald Trump's a good president. It's funny. It's funny how we're able to make that clear with every single. We're able to make that clear with every single Trump supporter that joins this life. Every single time we could just make it clear how y'all's arguments are just total bullshit. I mean, shakier than a raft at sea. And lack all substance and good reason. Like, come on, dude. You probably, right, think this to be true because Donald Trump said it at one of his rallies. Yeah,
Well,
he also
there's
says that
another
Cole is
reason why
clean
he's
at some of his rallies.
Well, there's another reason why he's done a good
Actually,
job,
let me thank someone real quick. Thank you for the $50, Winnie, over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you for that love, Winnie. Winnie with the $50 says, just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You've helped me so much through this challenging year, and I'm so thankful for you. Sending love. Oh, Winnie, I love you. You've been watching this stream for ages, and I'm so incredibly appreciative and grateful for you. Thank you for making my year awesome and continuing to support me. I'd really appreciate it if everybody watching at this point could please show some love to Winnie in that chat. I would also like to thank Jordan for the $20. Thank you. Let's get 200 Jordan W's for the $20 on Venmo. Says, thank you for being so patient with my previous donations. I felt bad, so I wanted to send support due to your respect to the LGBTQ plus community as an FTM trans individual. Thank you so much for your support of us. Jordan, I love you. And thank you for the $20. Show some love to Winnie and Jordan down below in that chat, as well as Anna. Thank you for the $1 over on Venmo. Riley, thank you for the $2 over on Venmo, who says, what did you end up getting the beautiful girlfriend for Christmas? Ooh, a bunch of things. Well, one of the things that I got her was, and this is just like one of the cool ones that comes to mind, I got her like a really sick Polaroid camera. So she said that she wanted like a Polaroid camera, but I didn't get her like one of the more like typical, like smaller, more modern Fujifilms. I went out and I got like a super cool, like retro one that looks awesome. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I think it's so cool. Like I kind of want one for myself, but anyways, here's one thing I got her. But thank you for the message and thank you for the $10. I think that you're awesome. Now, can you actually thank my donors? Can you say thank you, Winnie, for the $50, please?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not a good boy.
You're a bad boy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna abide by this liberal framework, but I have to thank everybody.
Wait, why not?
Well, because it was written by the leftist, all the Democrats.
Do you think? 1 second. I don't know. Shot in the dark. Do you think I'm paid by the DNC?
Well, I think it's definitely a possibility.
Really? And what makes you say that?
Well, I mean, you haven't disclosed, your earnings, on these websites.
I don't have to disclose my donation earnings through Venmo and PayPal to the FCC. They don't require it. Wait,
Well, the
FCC,
DNC is
SEC,
linked with you.
the SEC.
Well,
What's
the
that?
DNC is definitely linked with you.
How so?
Well, because you're always at these meetings with all these liberal creators. It's all you're all linked to each other. You guys are all the same.
Wait. I'm friends with other liberal creators. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys.
What about that? What about that implies that I'm paid by the DNC?
Well, you get all this dark money, and you have all these conventions together. And,
Wait, I get dark money? Wait. How do you know I get dark money? What?
yeah, so because I mean, look at you. I mean, what are you always doing? I mean, clearly, you do a lot of things which warrants you getting dark money.
Like what?
Well, I mean, you're always like, I mean, it's so
Woodstock,
obvious.
thank you for the 10 pounds over on YouTube Super Chat. Who says, "Oi, lad, appreciate you for the 10 pounds of Woodstock. Appreciate that, lad. Oi, thank you so thank you for the 10 euros. The DNC's pulling through today. Go ahead. Atlas, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you, Atlas. Yo, show some love to Atlas down below in that comment section for the $25. Rami, thank you for the $25 as well on Venmo, who says, "Here's some dark money from the DNC." Thank you for the dark money from the DNC. Show some love to Rami. Show some love to Atlas. And then Kelly, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo, who says, "Happy holidays, Dean. Thank you so much for being a voice for those who cannot speak. Happy holidays, Kelly. So good to see you, and thank you for the $50. Let's get 500 Kelly W's, 250 Atlas W's, 250 Rami W's. Then H, thank you so much for the $40 over on PayPal, who says, "I hope that you're doing well. Honestly, I'm doing great, and I hope you are too." Thank you for the $40, H. Show some love to H down below in that comment section. Show some love to all of our donors down below in that comment section. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for all of the love. Show some massive love to all of our donors. And thank you guys so much for all the DNC dark money. Thank you.
Yeah, so could we actually talk about the border?
Sure, we could talk about the border. I just had to thank all my DNC donors for the dark money. Shandi, thank you for the $2 on PayPal for the dark money. So what do you want to talk about in reference to the border? What was that?
Oh, it was nothing.
Josh, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo for the dark money. Thank you so much. Then John with a $50 over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, "Ask the caller if he's seen Trump's taxes." Oh, first and foremost, thank you for the $50. Let's get 500 John W's. Have you seen Donald Trump's taxes?
Yeah, they look pretty good to me.
Oh, you have?
Actually,
right? Because for years he refused to release them. He's paid by the RNC, dark money being funneled to him. By Elon Musk, I don't know.
His accountant actually messed it up.
Yeah, his accountant messed it up. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's yeah, for sure, 110%.
Well, it's
Malachi,
definitely
thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat for the dark money. Then Tara, thank you for the $26 over on YouTube Super Chat, saying, "Here's some of that DNC money for you. Happy holidays." Thank you, Tara. Oh my God, the DNC's going crazy today. Then GG, thank you for the $60 Australian over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, "I moved here from Australia in 2024. This country is cooked." Dang, yeah, and you get a front seat ticket to watching it unfold. I actually feel really bad for you. Bad time to move here. Thank you for the $60 Australian, GG. Thank you so much. And then John with a $5 on PayPal for some dark money. Luca with a 10 pounds on PayPal saying, "So much love for you. Here's some DNC dark money from the British branch of the DNC." Thank you so much. And then Shawnee with a $2 for the dark money. Evan, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo for the DNC dark money. Then Austin, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, saying, "Here's a DNC donation from George Soros. We are getting rich tonight. George Soros is giving me his bank account." Thank you so much. As well as Joseph with a $10 who says, "Recent subscriber. Thank you for all the work that you do. Happy holidays and keep on balling into 2026. Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. What is going off with this guy? We're hearing phone calls, smoke alarms, Discord, women in the background. He's texting on his phone. Bro, are you good?
Yeah, it's just my son has some friends over.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah, my son, he just has some friends over. It's nothing.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about to do with the border? By the way, I only got a couple more minutes for you. Autumn, thank you for the
Yes.
motorcycle.
Yeah, so the border, I mean, I think it's, record low crossings, record low, getaways, and all those things, decades actually, record lows.
Yeah, record lows. No, for sure we do have them. I just disagree with them because what Donald Trump has done to cause them. The reason why we have these record low like encounters and crossings is because Donald Trump has scared the encounters and crossers away by violating the human rights of the encounters and crossers who came into this country and are now undocumented immigrants. He's been illegally deporting them with no due process to seek out in El Salvador, stripping them of their dignity, their human rights, having them beaten and tortured. And I think it's a total mess. It's an infringement on our Constitution. It's an infringement upon the social and moral fabric of this country. He's having the ICE operate as his secret police, kidnapping naked children, deporting them and detaining them even after they have their birth certificate being supplied to them. That happened to a woman in Maryland not even a handful of days ago. And this is what is driving that new entry away. But obviously, we shouldn't agree with this. We should heavily disagree with this, even though it's been able to reduce undocumented entry because it's immoral and it's short term in the sense that the moment we no longer have a president that is a raging fascist, that trend will reverse because the incentive structure will reverse.
Yeah, so, ultimately, I think, I haven't agreed if everything is done in terms of the border, but I think we were getting invaded under Biden, so we have to do some drastic action.
Oh, so you actually agree with him being a fascist?
Well, I mean, a few things. Lincoln suspended habeas corpus, so I mean, you have to consider that too.
Okay, and what happened after Lincoln suspended habeas corpus?
Well, I think he brought it back actually.
And also, by the way, at that point in time, it wasn't super clear if that there was a power that the president had, and that was eventually outlined by the Emergency Powers Act of 1997, I believe. So that was like a legal gray leaning towards non-criminal area. But what Donald Trump has been doing isn't like a legally gray area, okay? It is illegal to deport undocumented immigrants without due process. It is immoral to play judge, jury, and execution and have them beaten, tortured, and starved in another country for weeks.
Well, if you saw what was going on at the border, it was people was rushing at it on all sorts of videos on Instagram and YouTube. It was the wall was getting destroyed, it was stopped being built, and people were climbing over it. Numerous things. There's definitely more things I could say, but it was really just
Show me one of these
ugly to
videos.
see. Well, they're all over the internet.
Okay,
or on
then it should be
YouTube.
really easy to find one to show me.
Yeah, I just gotta find it.
So then go find it. Oh my God, while you're finding that, holy shit. Tina, thank you for the $150 over on PayPal. Oh my God, Tina, thank you. Thank you so much for the love. That is fucking insane. Tina with a 150 says, "Hey Dean, keep up the great job." Tina, I do not deserve a penny of that. That is so much love and kindness. Holy shit. Thank you a billion times over for the love, Tina. Show some love to Tina down below in that comment section. Thank you so very, very much. As well as Nancy, thank you for the $15 who says because Canada also wants to contribute to the Dark Money Fund. Thank you, you guys. And we're going to give this guest another minute here to try to show this source. If you can, I'm just going to get an in for the night because I got a dinner to run off to. Do you have the video?
Yeah, so the video, it's like 43 seconds, and it says video shows hundreds of migrants storm across, let's see the rest, U.S.-Mexico border bridge, New York Post.
Okay, where are you finding this video?
It's on the New York Post YouTube channel.
Okay, from when? And where can I find it?
March 2023. It's on YouTube.
Okay, one moment. Oh, this was a group of individuals that had applied for asylum, but then, oh, wait, actually no. So this was a rush that followed a rumor that the border was being opened to give them a fast-track political asylum into America. But ultimately, that rumor wasn't true, and they were denied entry. So I mean, by the way, the information that I'm like telling you right now is literally from the description of the New York Post video that you just shared with me. Read it. It says the rush followed a rumor that the border was being opened. That rumor was false, and they were denied entry. So, in other words, what you're telling us here is starting rumors, okay, that the border's open causes surges of individuals to storm the southern border. Over the course of the last 10 years, who started a bunch of rumors that the border was open? I could think of one man in particularly. He's quite orange. He's a rapist. And he's a felon. His name's Trump. Trump, for the last 10 years, okay, when he wasn't president, Trump for the last 4 years under Biden was screaming and shouting from the tops of his lungs, saying the border's wide on open. You could just waltz right on through. So, quite frankly, maybe these rumors, okay, originate from none other than the president that you support running the country today.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, by the way, these videos are happening every day, these encounters. People were rushing at the border, trying to, like, take it over. We were getting invaded by really the rest of the world.
Dude,
not just South
these
American
people came
countries.
to a legal port of entry. It was a group of 1,000 people that came to a legal port of entry that they believed was open because of a rumor. It was not open, and they were denied entry.
Yeah, but it was happening every day. These rushes were happening for every day for 4 years.
Oh, yeah, and who every day for 4 years was starting rumors that the border was open? Trump.
Well, he wasn't president at the time.
That doesn't change the fact that he had massive political power and used that power and platform with his audience of millions to say that the border was open.
Well, I mean, there was like 13 million people who got into the country. So I mean, I think
You
actually
won't even respond to the point. I gotta go to dinner. I'm kicking you. You won't even respond to the point. Get fucking cooked. One last person I want to thank you before we end is Adam. Thank you for the $50 over on PayPal. Who says, I'm Jazz Music in the YouTube chat. We need you. They're taking down these MAGA fascists and MAGA cultists. Keep it up, my friend. Oh, Adam, thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Adam, please show some love to Adam down below in that chat for the $50. I really appreciate you for your kindness. Now, for everyone, I am going to go ahead and end for the night. I have a dinner that I need to be here in 26 minutes, so I got to end a little early, unfortunately. That last guest is in the chat saying that he won. Point and laugh. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. Parker should be live here shortly. Bye, guys. Why is the stream not ending? Okay, there goes.